of no confidence, as you would have known that Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi has survived a motion of no confidence after the majority of parties in the Gauteng legislature voted against the motion, including FF Plus. Alpha Ramushwana will unbundle that for us, unpack it, and put us in a better, knowledgeable space. We will also look into the Madlanga Commission. What is the latest? How has the week been? Flying controversies in that commission, as well as the ad hoc committee. Throughout all of these, I would want to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you. I would really appreciate it if you touched base and shared with us your thoughts as the show unfolds. You can do that on 072 702 1702 with your text messages and your voice notes. Alternatively, just call us directly, and that's what I prefer, on 011 883 0702. 9 after 3, Karabo, the show has officially begun.
For more about 702,
go to primemediaplus.com.
Tedeso is behind the scenes, ably working with Rifue, whom you know very well, and they are the producers of the show. And Karabo will tell you what's happening on our roads, keep you updated with the traffic. And when it's overcast like this and in some parts raining, it can be a little bit tricky. You do need a bit of heads up here and there, which routes to avoid. He's on top of it, and he'll give you the very latest, so you don't want to miss that, if anything at all. And another Karabo is the technical producer, and she's pressing all these fancy buttons and making us sound very eloquent and articulate and very clear, coming to you, ably doing so. But of course, we have you as the main ingredient of the show. Homotso will come and tell us what's happening in Eyewitness News. She'll update us throughout the show, and we'll get spots from Tolagele as well. And Stephen Fruites will update us on business. Other than that, that is the show. I hope you'll enjoy it. Let's start getting your text messages, your voice notes. There's a lot that is happening in the country at any given point. Firstly, Rifue, thanks again for coming through. I hope you're good. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Prodigal Son, and to the rest of the 702 family.
There's that name again. Thank you.
You must admit that I'm very consistent.
If one thing, yes, you are consistent.
Shout out to me.
Well, I suppose. And Karabo, you good, man?
Yeah, afternoon. How are you, Chief?
We're trying our best.
100%.
Yeah, we're trying our best. Here's what I wanted to ask you and all the listeners in 702 land. This is not a very popular question. As you would know, I always stir the pot and become very unpopular. But I was just thinking about us as individuals, as citizens of the world and the universe. I wanted to are you really a good person, or you are forced by circumstances to be good? When you look at yourself in the mirror, are you really, really, really a good person? So that sounds like a vague question, right? But please listen to this. And I would like to hear from you, Rifue and Karabo, and you at home.
Everybody thinks they're a good person until life actually tests them. It's easy to be honest when lying costs you nothing. It's easy to be loyal when there's no temptation. It's easy to be kind when everybody treats you well. You see, the truth is, most people's morality isn't strength. It's circumstance. Ego convinces us that we're righteous when we're really just comfortable. True morality isn't proven in calm waters. It's proven when the storm hits, when doing the right thing hurts. So don't boast about your principles. Wait until they're tested, because that's when you find out who you really are.
Yeah, so that's the question that I want. And I'd appreciate an honest answer. Jeez. I really would. That really, 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 are you a good person? One more layer before you answer, Rifue, as you ponder on this philosophical concern that I've brought on the table. One more thing. I mean, if you had more money than all of us, and if you were very, very wealthy, would you be the kind Rifue that you are right now? Not just you, Rifue, generally, but would you be the kind person that you are, tolerant when people are late and say, yeah, it's okay? Or is it circumstances that force you to be who you are?
Very interesting question or random thought of the day, I must say. It's a brilliant one. Well done to you.
No,
we must give people their flowers.
Stop digressing.
No, well, they're still alive.
Digressing.
I'm not being diplomatic.
Answer the question.
Let me answer the question honestly. Let me answer. Thank you, fellow comrade. Comrades, what I wanted to say, I'm joking, is I think I would still be. I try to be a decent person. I don't always get it right. Sometimes I want to choose violence. But sometimes you want to, because some people don't. Sometimes you want to choose the highway. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Then you have to think of, okay, there's a consequence to this. What have you been taught at home? What's your moral belief?
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes you're like, oh man, I wish I could just, but then you
Yeah.
remember who you are. So I think it also boils down
But
to
it's
character.
at the core of who you are.
Yeah.
So is Refu a good person?
She is. I'd like to say she is. Maybe others have not experienced the good refu, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
I would
yeah.
concur. She's a good person. I see it in her, and I can see.
You
if she
are,
has-
man. How many
if
hours
she-
do you spend with her in a
If
day?
she's the billionaire, I think she'll be the most.
She'd still be, if you're a billionaire, you'd
Yeah.
still be
I
the
think
very
I
same
I'd
person.
like
see
to
it.
think so, but
I
you
can
know
see
what?
it.
But I've been praying about this. I'm like, God, test me. I want to see. Give me money, God. Test me so I can see what will I still
want to
be
know
that
myself.
character. I want to see my full self. Just one day, let $1 billion sit in my account and
Play
let's see.
lottery, play lottery.
I do, but he hasn't answered that call yet.
How about you?
I think I'm a good person, eh?
Yeah.
I think if I was a billionaire, I'll even be the most nicest, friendliest, welcoming person
Really?
ever. What do I have to lose?
Yeah, but this is exactly what this audio was about. You are saying that because you're not a billionaire
No,
now.
but doesn't it
That's
boil
why
down to
you are saying
character,
that.
Thabo?
But then,
It does.
I think it boils down to character.
Money, alcohol, power, and influence
but then
reveal the true
you
you.
broke it down and said if you had money.
Yeah.
Even now, I believe I am a good person.
Yeah.
Even if you do bad to me,
Yeah.
I'll try and find ways of a good way out.
Because perhaps it's survival for now, and you need
It's
us
a
for
ca-
now.
I
But
think it's a
if you don't
character
need
thing,
us,
protocol.
I
It's
think
a
no,
character
I'm
thing.
genuine. No, I'm asking. I'm not accusing you guys because
Yeah.
I don't
No,
know that.
100%.
Yeah, but I'm just asking genuinely that. Is it circumstances that make us, myself as well, is it circumstance you are more tolerant, you are more patient than you would be, and perhaps and accommodating than necessary? But if you had 10 billion rand, would you be the person that you are right now?
When I'm hungry, I'm not tolerant. When I'm hungry, I'm
Yeah.
aggressive. I want it. I'm not nice to anyone until I get what I want. You
Yeah,
know what?
yeah.
Get out of my way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Suke ndleleni Jobe.
Yeah.
I'm out to get
We're
that
dropping
thing.
bombs. Sugan Job. Please explain to the rest of the 702 family what Sugan Job
is.
is. I don't
and
know what it
myself
means.
as
Get out my
Explain.
way. Get out my way,
Oh,
please.
okay.
Get out my
Oh,
way.
Jobe.
Okay, no, if you say that, but let me tell you, true character comes out when people have money and when they're drunk and when they have power. That's when. So, given all of those, would you still be the person that you are? Are you genuinely a good person? So I'd love to hear from you. 072 702 1702. I genuinely want to hear an honest answer from you. Because it's easy for us to scream at politicians, call them corrupt, to scream at other people and call them unfaithful in their relationships and have all sorts of stuff. But you put a mirror in front of you. Are you truly a good person? And if money was just flooding, power was there, would you still be a good person that you seem to be now? 011-883-0702, 16 after 3. Karabo, the roads, how do they look?
Well, at this stage, it's off to a busy start. I must say, if you're heading towards four ways, leaving the Bryanston area, there's already slow-moving traffic. This is on the N1 southbound. Between Rivonia Road and Winnie Mandela Drive. Also, bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is driving through Bedford View, heading towards Germiston. N3 southbound. This is between Linksfield Road and the Geldenays interchange. Also coming into Bedford View, that's heading from that's coming from the Edenvale area. Slow-moving traffic, R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Kilulis interchange, and also bumper-to-bumper traffic. That's due to roadworks in the Calvin Alex area. N3 southbound, that's between the Baclue interchange and London Road. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Clement Maniatella,
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Ambassador, I wanted to understand, why did they not want to apply for asylum?
Because they do not want to stay in South Africa for the rest of their lives. Because we were explaining to them, according to the rules and regulations of the Home Affairs that we received yesterday. If you want to apply for asylum, they will take your passport. You might not be able to travel. You might not be able to go out. And you might not be able to get your passport until you receive an answer. And it might take 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Most of the people who came, they do not speak English, so they have a language barrier. Most of them, they just want to have a small break. But definitely they want to go back in Gaza.
Hanan Jara, ambassador of the State of Palestine to the Republic of South Africa.
Clement Manyatela.
9 to 12 on 702.
You can become a victim of a legal problem: wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Lock into roaring rugby action this season with Hollywood Bets. Bet 50 Rand or more on any Vodacom United Rugby Championship fixture, and you could win a share of 300,000 Rand in cash, betting vouchers, or prizes. This includes Smeg bar fridges, macro vouchers, a Sharks captain run, or a player circle experience. Only the toughest team will prevail. Bet now and let the rugby rumble begin. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Day 20, awaiting proof of payment. Day 30, still waiting. Day 40, funds finally cleared. In business, credit with 55 interest-free days keeps you moving. We get it. Get an Absa Business Credit Card. Use over 50% of your credit and initiation fees will be on us. Offer ends 31 December 2025. Apply at absa.co.za/business. Absa is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. Absa, your story matters.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
7:02 indeed, 20 minutes after 3 o'clock. I don't know what you make of that motion of no confidence in Gauteng legislature. It came through a little bit earlier on, where Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi survived a motion of no confidence, and the motion was brought forward by the Democratic Alliance, and was based on Lesufi's, at least that's what they said, on Lesufi's unlawful establishment of the Gauteng crime wardens, also known as Amapanyaza, and the Tembisa corruption scandal that they also mentioned, and just general corruption. They also cited 177 forensic reports, lifestyle audits, NPOs, and cancer patients in Gauteng as one of these reasons why they were tabling this motion. The ANC, MK Party, Action SA, EFF, PA, RISE, Mzansi, IFP, ACDP, and BOSA unsurprisingly rejected the motion of no confidence. It was only supported by the FF Plus, and so this is very interesting. Various developments coming through, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. I would love to hear from you. As a resident of Gauteng, would you have wanted Panyaza Lesufi to be booted out, to step down as a premier, looking at the state of Gauteng, or are you generally happy? You're saying he's doing a good job. There are some flaws here and there, but generally he's doing a good job. I'd love to hear from you. 011-883-0702. 21 after 3.
For more about 702,
Go to primemediaplus.com.
This week, the Western Cape High Court granted government and petroleum giant Shell permission to appeal the court's decision against offshore drilling along with Southwest Coast. And in this instance, the Department of Mineral and Petroleum Resources initially gave Shell the go-ahead to drill along the coast as part of its proposed ultra-deep oil and gas exploration project. We unpack the ruling and get the comment from various parties that we'd like to speak to, but we've also invited to help us understand this a little bit better, Princey Mtombeni, Africa for Nuclear. Princey, always great chatting to you. Lovely having you with us here on 702. Good afternoon.
Hi, Tabo, and good afternoon to your listeners. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. What are we to make of this ruling?
Well, there is no ruling as such because the case is still under review since it was upheld last year.
Yeah, I was just mentioning, and I said ruling instead of the case itself, in a sense that as far as shelling is concerned, it has really been a serious issue in South Africa. And there has been some controversies. People have also cited, you might add conveniently, environmental matters that are associated with shelling. In this, Prince, where is South Africa as far as the energy needs are concerned? And are we headed towards the right direction? And what, in your view, would you like the court to lean towards, even though I can somehow guess?
Okay, Tabo, we need to start by talking about what is the government trying to do here and what is the court case about. Is the court case about Shell as a company or the court case about government? And if we are saying we have a problem with Shell, therefore we should be questioning Shell and not questioning what Shell is doing in South Africa in partnership with the government. So what the government is trying to do here, Tabo, we all know that energy is the backdrop, is the foundation of any development. So government is following their policies in terms of creating jobs, in terms of energy security and stuff like that. And then what Shell has done is that Shell wanted to, in partnership with government, of course, to look into exploration in areas such as the Eastern Cape and some part in Cape Town. And then they were initially given the environmental impact assessment in 2014. And then when they wanted to use the same environmental impact assessment, now around 2021, to start with the exploration, then they were stopped by the NGOs in partnership with communities. And the main issue was that Shell did not follow the right procedures of environmental impact assessment and stuff like the rule or the process that they did. It was in languages such as English and Afrikaans and not isiXhosa, which means the communities were excluded. And then the court ruled against Shell in favor of the community to say Shell must go back and do the right in terms of public participation processes. And they did not say it's wrong for Shell to drill. And again, Thabo, if we say it's wrong for Shell to drill, are we saying, or if we support this case? Because the case is not about the company, it's about what is being done. And the issue here is things like environmental impact assessment, marine life, cultural activities around that area. Yes.
Princey, given that the Western High Court granted the government and Shell permission to appeal the court's decision against the offshore, where to from here? And I'm just wondering about a precedent-setting potential ruling that hasn't happened as well. Would this case, in your view, change the dynamics in the space?
Definitely, it will change, because if now the courts rule in favor of NGOs to say, because again, it's about the marine life which will be affected by seismic surveys, the public participation and all stuff. But if they rule and say those things must be done properly, then I'm in favor of the court. But the NGOs, we know what they want here. What they don't want here. They don't want exploration altogether. That's what they are fighting for, but they always find these loopholes to delay the process.
Africa for Nuclear, Prince Mtombeni was speaking to us 26 after 3.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Alpha Ramushwana is here, and for whatever reason, Alpha was deep into the interview. I didn't see you. Welcome. I hope you're good.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.
The motion went to Panyaza's way, and we had the parties that already voted in his favor. There was Bosa, Rise Mzansi, and many other parties behind Panyaza. It was fait accompli, wasn't it, Alpha?
Yeah, I mean, it was only the DA, which is the one that tabled the motion of no confidence against Panyaza Lesufi. They're the only party that voted in support of that motion. So there are 11 political parties in the provincial legislature, and all of them voted to keep Lesufi in office. The Freedom Front Plus, on the other hand, abstained from the vote. They said that they don't believe that the DA's timing is correct, and said that they don't want to be involved in politics. They don't want to be involved in the games between the ANC and the Democratic Alliance. So only the DA, out of 11 political parties, supported the motion of no confidence.
Is it the function of the GNU machinery that is at work nationally, playing itself out in the various legislatures, Gauteng in particular?
I mean, you could think that, but it's not the case this time around, because you would remember that at national government we have the DA and ANC working together, together with many other political parties. In Gauteng, I'll take you back to 2024, those negotiations after the elections, the ANC and the DA couldn't reach an agreement. And today, the DA voted to remove Lesufi in office. So if national government had some hand in this, they could have told the provincial government to not table that motion of no confidence against the Premier, but they went ahead either way. And we did ask the question to the DA this morning if there was any influence from the DA's national leadership this time around. They said they do have the support of the national leaders, but they remain autonomous, or they are able to make decisions without necessarily consulting their heads, or they're not they don't have any hand in this motion of no confidence. It was their own decision.
As if we believe that, as if Helen Zille will just allow things to happen without her hand having something to do with you, with her in this. Alpha, now where to from here? Obviously, Panyaza is emboldened. He will be he'll be moving on ahead, and we've seen the messages post that, including some electronic posters with Tonim, with Solim Simang, Betad, Helen crying. From here, clearly he's emboldened, and he will feel that he's got a strong, firm hand on running Gauteng.
In fact, after the motion of no confidence, Panyaza Lesufi addressed a bunch of supporters who were gathered outside the provincial legislature, and he was saying to them that this failed motion of no confidence has only made him stronger. Says that the DA's failed motion of no confidence was a political game, really, to settle political scores. And he believes that since they've emerged victorious, it has only made him stronger. And it seems he's pretty confident that he'll make it to 2029, which is when his terms end.
Lastly, I know you have to leave, Alpha, but just before, the issues, though, were very pertinent, weren't they? Including the traffic wardens.
Yeah, so last month you would remember that the public protector released a report saying that the establishment of the crime prevention wardens was unconstitutional. That was one of the reasons why the DA filed this motion of no confidence. But they also accuse Panyaza Lesufi, the Premier, of mishandling matters surrounding the Tembisa Hospital tender corruption. They also accuse him of being reckless and negligent in the way he runs government. So it's quite a number of issues. In fact, I think there were about 6 or 7 issues that the political party has named. But of course, it was prompted by that disbandment of the crime prevention wardens.
Thank you so much for your time. Alpha Ramoshwana with EWN. 3:30. Time for Eyewitness News headlines with Khomotso. Khomotso, good afternoon. Welcome. What's the latest?
Thanks, Tabo. Good afternoon. Members of Parliament have continued their criticism of Minister Enoch Godongwana's medium-term budget policy statement, especially the country's low-growth prospects. Godongwana's meetings with the international markets and major U.S. banks like J.P. Morgan, without reaching out to local social partners, has also come into focus. Godongwana and the National Treasury were engaging MPs before a joint meeting of Parliament's Finance and Appropriation Committees from the National Assembly and National Council of Provinces today. Baba Londenze reports.
Minister Enoch Godongwana was back in Parliament just a day after his medium-term budget, where he presented a lower GDP growth projection of 1.2%. This remains a serious concern for members who've questioned the point of doing growth projections that are never met. Action SA MP Ellen Beasley.
For me, the massive disappointment in this budget was just the GDP growth. And I was very surprised to see the GNU stand and applaud 1.2%.
EFF MP Ompile Mautwe says Godongwana chose to consult with major international banks instead of local structures.
We have a couple of secret meetings that we held, but the social partners and the democratic structures in this country have not been consulted. So, did you and the National Treasury consult NETLEC?
Director General Duncan Peterson says global growth is sitting at a below-average 3.2% in 2025, and South Africa operates in the same global markets when it comes to demand for exports. Baba Londense, Eyewitness News.
Environmental activists, the Green Connection and Natural Justice have welcomed a High Court decision to allow government and petroleum giant Shell permission to appeal a ruling against offshore drilling along the West Coast. The Western Cape High Court recently overturned a Department of Mineral Resources decision to grant Shell permission to drill for oil along a section of the Cape Coast. The Green Connection and Natural Justice say the court bid exposed serious flaws in how environmental and social risks are evaluated for the project. Carlo Peterson has more.
Social and environmental justice activists, the Green Connection and Natural Justice, says despite the appeal being granted, the court's initial ruling affirms environmental justice. These eco groups want community voices to remain central in decision making. Green Connection's advocacy officer Lisa McCowler says the case against Shell will set a legal precedent for future drilling projects.
The ruling still remains, the environmental authorization still remains unlawful, and we're happy to see that, those projects will have to be, the EIA process will have to be redone again in a correct manner, whereby also the communities are involved.
Shell is reviewing the court's decision to determine its next steps. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
The Beer Association South Africa is calling for predictable and fair taxation. It says a study conducted in collaboration with Oxford Economics shows the industry saw an increase of 114% in excise tax. The association calculates the tax has risen 1.5 times faster than inflation. BASA CEO Charlene Lowe says unpredictable tax hikes are fatal to small breweries.
We have an industry that is obviously constrained by many other input costs, not just excise. The cumulative effect of all of these input costs together with a high excise adjustment really becomes quite unsustainable for the industry.
And Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan is establishing a commission of inquiry to investigate the killings that occurred during the elections that returned her to power. In her inaugural speech in Parliament, Hassan said she's deeply saddened by the incident. Hassan was elected with 98% of the vote in a contested election last month. She says government must investigate what happened that prompted the killings during protests. It's a cloudy Friday in Gauteng with isolated afternoon showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures peaking at highs of between 25 and 27.
In Tembisa, there's an accident scene, R21 northbound near Olifantsfontein Road, causing huge delays if you're leaving OR Tambo International Airport heading towards Pretoria. Bryanston also slow-moving traffic. N1 southbound between Rivonia Road and the Between Interchange, and in Devland heading towards Eldorado Park. Roadworks causing heavy delays on the Golden Highway between the N1 and Union Avenue.
The top story in EWN, members of parliament have continued their criticism of Minister Enoch Godongwana's medium-term budget policy statement, especially the country's low growth prospects.
Africa Milani.
Weekday mornings,
4 to 6.
You're about to get busy. G20 descends on Johannesburg next week. When do you bring those part of the fleet back into service and be operational at full service again?
That's right. So with the G20 coming on, at the end of the next couple of weeks, we're actually looking at that scale up happening already next week. So during the course of next week, there'll be a full-on scale up, and then obviously tactical additional capacity added in on days that are perceived to be particularly busy.
Kirby Gordon, Chief Marketing Manager at FlySF here.
Africa Milani.
4 to 6 on 702.
Make the winning move when you play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 42 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Friday. That's right. Play Powerball for an estimated 36 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 6 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old or play responsibly. E2 is a proud operator of the National Lottery.
So you thought you were building a business in this economy, but day by day, somehow it grew. You kept going when the freezer didn't freeze, the bucket didn't budge, and the bank balance barely blinked. So you thought you were building a business. You weren't. It was building you. Because this isn't just what you do anymore, it's who you are, and you don't trust just anybody to protect it. Chat to your broker about Old Mutual Insure Business Insurance. Protect what built you. Old Mutual Insure Limited is a licensed FSP and non-life insurer.
The Dial-A-Bed Black Friday sale is now on with
20% off absolutely everything. Start Black Friday shopping today and save thousands on all our best brands. 40 Winks, Sealy, Simmons, Dunlopillow, King Coil. In all sizes, all less 20% and all ready for fast delivery. Dial-A-Bed. Sleep for life.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Good afternoon, Tabo and the 702 lenders. Listen, man, my opinion, money magnifies your character. It amplifies who you are. If you're a good person with money, like Garabo is saying, you would do even more good works because you have money and you're a good person. But if you're an evil person, you are broke. Your evilness is not fully explored until there's money flowing. So for me, I'm a good person, generally. I don't think it, I am a good person. And with that 2 billion rand, I will do plenty good things. I know it. Even if God were to test me this minute, he knows himself that I will do nothing but good with the money because I am a good person. Matuto from Centurion.
Matuto, even if God were to test you this minute, you'd love that test, ne? You'd love to sit in that exam room. In case you're wondering what are we talking about, earlier we asked the question, are you genuinely a good person or are circumstances forcing you to be a good person and have good character? And we asked that on the backdrop of a number of people are obviously pointing fingers at each other for this, that, and the other. But until you're in that situation, would you do the same? Or would you be different? Other people are tolerant because they are in need. You need a job. That's why you are kind to your colleagues. You don't want to be fired, right? And so it's circumstances. It's not necessarily that you are a good person. So we were asking that. Feel free to weigh into the discussion on 0727021702 by sending a text message or a voice note there too. 21 minutes to 4 o'clock.
EWN Sport.
Certainly not Tolagele, it's Tato Moloto who's going to give us the very latest in the world of sports. Tato, hey, I hope you're good, man.
Look, I'm doing fantastic. Good afternoon, Tabo. Let's start here. You probably noticed this. It is Black Friday in your offices, and you know what that means. The Springboks are back in action. This time around, they meet Italy tomorrow afternoon. Big rotations for the Boks, 11 changes to Rassie Erasmus' starting 15, with some saying Erasmus' lineup seems a little bit undercooked. Let's hear what the coach had to say for himself.
Obviously, we've played already 11 matches this year. 12. There's another, the Barbarians, 12. So we've got another 3 to go. So for us now, gymming and doing fitness won't make us fitter in the last 3 games. I think what you're saying is correct. And because we chopped and changed, we couldn't really get a lot of match fitness. But we're now at a stage where most of the guys has at least 5-6 test matches under their belt.
Kickoff time is just after 2. Staying with rugby, England are against the All Blacks, Wales meet Japan, Ireland up against a struggling Australian side, and France facing Fiji. In cricket, India reached 37 for 1 in their first innings at close of play on day 1 of their first test, now trailing the Proteas by 122 runs. Earlier, India's Jasper Bumrah took 5 for 27 as South Africa were dismissed for 159. The two nations are back in action tomorrow. Back home, Boland meet Dolphins while the Dragons face Titans in the T20 Challenge this evening. Meanwhile, in Gqeberha tomorrow, Bafana have a friendly against Zambia at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. However, for coach Hugo Brosh, this isn't just a friendly. It's a game to test just how deep his squad depth is going into the African Cup of Nations this coming December.
We have to be prepared on everything, and maybe when you compare with the previous AFCON, we can't focus only on one way of playing. We need to be able to adapt in some situations, and that was something we didn't have in the previous AFCON.
At the Under-17 World Cup, Amachimbos have a knockout clash against Japan tomorrow afternoon. With questions around the inconsistency of his backline, Coach Vela Khumalo says that it's because of all the injuries.
We are having too many injuries here. That is why we chop and change the team. At the same time, we are trying to manage. We had a red card. We were hoping that we will build with the tournament, but these injuries And these injuries are not new injuries, injuries that they carried from their different or respective clubs. But we are going to soldier on, and hopefully when we play the knockout, we'll be having everybody on board.
Finally, the MotoGP season takes its final bow in Valencia on Sunday. That race is set to start at 3. Tato Moloto, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
With Karabo Charlie, the roads, how do they look? And especially in Tembisa, has there been an improvement that side?
Yeah, so if you're leaving OR Tambo International Airport heading towards Pretoria, expect heavy delays. There's an accident scene in Tembisa. That's on the R21 northbound near Olifantsfontein Road, already causing huge delays all the way from the R25 Popsfontein off-ramp. View also traffic pressure N3 in both directions between Linksfield Road and the Haldenays interchange. We still have those roadworks in the Calvin Alex area, slowing down traffic heading towards heading towards Germiston. This is on the N3 southbound between the Butler interchange and London Road. Santon traffic congested M1 North. That's heading towards Midrand between Ethel Oakland and the Butler interchange, while in Bryanston traffic remains a bit sluggish on the N1 southbound between Rivonia Road and the Butler interchange. Devland heading towards Eldorado Park roadworks causing heavy delays on the Golden Highway between the N1 and Union Avenue, and in Irene bumper-to-bumper traffic approaching the intersection of Nelmapius Drive and Main Road. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
702 Podcast
On PrimeMediaPlus.com.
17 minutes to 4 o'clock. Welcome back. Thabo Sholemashao in for John Perlman. Great having you with us. And we had a question for you earlier on. And often when we ask these very reflective questions, I suppose a lot of people do not want to weigh in because a mirror has been placed on them and it's very uncomfortable to look at yourself. I often say, especially when I'm on air, that even when we speak about bullying and the parents of bullies, people don't want to look at themselves. They'd rather look at others. It's easier to point at others, insult them, call them names. But when it's your turn, asking you, are you a good person genuinely, or is it circumstances that make you to be this patient, kind, generous person until you get where you want to go? It could be money, power, and influence, notwithstanding where you are right now. But if you had lots of money, lots of influence, power, would you be the kind person that you seem to be right now? And this is on the backdrop of something that we played for you earlier on. Please listen to this. Tato, I want you to listen to this because I want to put you on a hotspot.
Everybody thinks they're a good person until life actually tests them. It's easy to be honest when lying costs you nothing. It's easy to be loyal when there's no temptation. It's easy to be kind when everybody treats you well. You see, the truth is, most people's morality isn't strength, it's circumstance. Ego convinces us that we're righteous when we're really just comfortable. True morality isn't proven in calm waters. It's proven when the storm hits, when doing the right thing hurts. So don't boast about your principles. Wait until they're tested, because that's when you find out who you really are.
Yeah. And a lot of people would say it's easy. No, you must forgive everyone up until you're the one who's hurt. Up until you're the one in that pain. So, Tato, are you a good person or is it circumstances?
Look, firstly, Thabo, I think it's good to have a little bit of both, right? I think it's good as an adult to be able to work a room and be nice to people that you wouldn't necessarily be nice to. It's okay. Sometimes it's your boss and you have to be nice to your boss sometimes. But I think to the core of it, what builds someone's character and what makes you the human being that you are starts from what's within, right? So I do believe that I'm a nice person, but also equally so, I know I can work a room, hey, so well.
And so you are being convenient, and working a room would mean that you are conveniently and deliberately, intentionally putting up a certain act to get some results from the performance that you would be putting on the table.
And it works sometimes. That's exactly what it is. Look, I think it's great to be a good person, and I don't think it's as rewarding all the time, though. So I think the ability to work a room is something you must have.
So out of 10, Karabo, let's come to you. 10 being very, very good, 1 being worst.
I'm 8.
And you?
I think I'm a 7.
Well, I'd love to hear from you. 072 702 1702. 13 minutes to 4.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Classic on Turf, made possible by Telkom Captivates in Cape Town, and this would be a harmonious fusion of sport and symphony. Found new expression as Classic on Turf, made possible by Telkom following its Cape Town debut, enchanting audiences with a day of refined golfing leisure and evening transcendent music, putting golf and music together. And Mongezi Koko, EWN reporter, joins us right now, and Mongezi is going to give us a bit of insight into this Classic on Turf. Is Mongezi already there? 011-83-0702. Let's see if Mongezi is already there. And if you don't know about this Classic on Turf, it's quite interesting, simply because, I mean, you have music, golf course, and golfing all coming together. Mongezi joins us right now. Mongezi, hi. Thanks for joining us. Welcome again.
Good afternoon, Tabo.
Do the two blend? Beautiful music and golf.
I'll tell you that it's just an air of jubilee. What we have here is people in the background enjoying the stand and seeing what exactly is going on, Tabo. I myself am not much of a golfer, not a golfer at all, but I'll tell you that those who are inexperienced are afforded the opportunity to sort of learn what exactly is going on. But I do have with me over here a gentleman who might be able to let us know what exactly is going on. We're going to start with him here. Now, sir, thank you so much for joining us. Please do introduce yourself and let us know what exactly today means. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of inexperienced people, and I'm also seeing people who are very experienced taking to the course. Let's talk about that.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. My name is Nivot Hendrikse. I'm the golf manager at Kalani Country Club, and we are absolutely honored to host Classics on Turf today. It's an event that started with humble beginnings with 40 players. I mean, around 3 years ago. I'll never forget the day when the Classics guys contacted me and said, you know what, let's start this event. We've got this amazing initiative, and it's grown into something beautiful. We're hosting 144 players today in a golf day that is of the biggest stature that the club's ever seen. And we're super proud of what Classics has achieved and super grateful that they chose Kalani for this. I mean, they've stretched their wings all the way to Cape Town, and I know they're looking at Durban going forward, which is an amazing thing. So as you mentioned, you're looking around and seeing a couple of people trying to hit a couple of golf balls. So what we've introduced for this event as well is a clinic. We've got about 20 people participating and just seeing what golf is about. This is what this event's about. It's about providing exposure for everyone and getting the talent out there for the artists, for the golfers, and really using this as a showcase for what golf can mean. So with this clinic today, we're just running through the basics and just explaining what golf's about and just getting people introduced into the game. I mean, it's such an amazing initiative, and once again, Kalani is so proud to be a part of it.
Talk me through what Classic means for someone who completely doesn't know what golf is all about, someone that thinks that golf is out of reach. You know, I mean, people tend to do the normal sports and not necessarily lean towards golf, but we're seeing a lot of people who've never had the opportunity to play golf. What does this mean for an average Joe living in Johannesburg? And it's like, I pass Killarney every day when I pass the M1. What does it mean for them?
I mean, it's just an amazing platform for them to showcase the sports. At the end of the day, golf has always been seen as this affluent sport, only for the higher class. And I mean, that's changed completely. With events like this for Classics on Turf, it's providing the exposure and the platform for everyone to be a part of the game. I implore everyone to come around to Kalani Country Club, support Classics on Turf, and see what golf's about. At the end of the day, we have grown our wings and really shown that golf is a game for everyone. I mean, we've got people here from every single corner of Africa, and we're extremely proud to be a part of it.
Look, man, it's not just golf. I see that there's a performance lined up. You guys are catering to people to go inside and just enjoy the vibes that exist. Tell us about that. Tell us about the other aspect of Classics on Turf.
100%. You hit the nail on the head there. So what today is about, in essence, from the evening function, is showcasing some talent. We got a beautiful orchestra and a beautiful lineup for tonight. And it's an amazing opportunity for you to see everything outside of golf at Kalani as well. We've got beautiful venues here which showcase these things, and from a catering perspective, we're looking after about 300 people today. So it's something we're extremely proud of, and it's something that we can definitely do for more than just Classics.
Just a final one from me. What's your favorite thing about golf? Just one favorite thing.
I think all the golfers are going to relate very well here, and some people might think I'm crazy, but from a perspective of a golfer, it's how frustrating it is. It's the endless chase to perfection, and I don't think you can ever have a golfer that's as happy as they can be.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. Now, Tabo, you've heard it. I mean, it's absolutely a refreshing air. You're seeing people of various walks of life, various ages. I'm telling you, there's food, there's beverages. It's just an air of excitement, despite the weather. It is gloomy in Johannesburg, but people are set up here. You'd also find a number of 702 logos where you find the 702 family really excited to be here taking photos. So it's really one place to come. It's not the end. So you can still come around, pay, buy a ticket, and ensure that you see Judith Supuma, who's going to be performing this evening.
And you are in your element, Mongezi Anchu. He's gone. Already rushing for that music and golf. Mongezi Koko, EWN reporter. 7 minutes to 4 o'clock.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
These questions, what kind of man are you? What kind of woman are you? Don't do that. If there's nothing else you can take from our experience of 702 and the conversations we have, let it be that we educate each other, not just about politics and current affairs, but we educate each other about how to be better people and to also accept there's a hell of a lot we just don't know, and that's okay.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Josie, my Josie. A city made of swag, passion, and resilience. Over here, we rise with the sun. Namateksi. We are a city of doers, creators, and believers. When we unite, yonke into iyahlangana. From corner offices to corner veggie stalls or corner pre-chat and receipt. Josie, my Josie. A city where even those who were not born here are made here. Yabona la, citizenship is awarded to the curious. There's magic and beauty in our city. So we call on everyone to come experience it. Babiza bonke to come see Josie and all its people. Because this city is all of us. Come witness our citizens do it. Babiza bonke to come see the actions of the invisibles. Those building our city from the ground up. So we have a home we can all proudly call Josie, my Josie. Visit josiemyjosie.com to see how Josie does it.
To any private bank worth the title, who you are and where you're headed matters. That's why at Investec, we'll get to know you and your goals so you can focus on building a better future for your family. If you earn 800,000 Rand per annum or more, you may qualify for Investec Private Banking, where you'll enjoy effortless digital capabilities backed by real people who understand you. We'll even switch your account for you. Now that's private banking.
Investec is an authorized financial services and registered credit provider. Investec, out of the ordinary.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hey, Nataba, I'm not a good person, and I know it. Even when people say, we're not Satan, that's who I am, you know. And I disguise as a good person, but deep down, I know I'm not a good person, you know. And regardless of whether I have money or not, I'm not a good person. Like, even people who like borrowing money from other people, they know never to come to me. They know. You know, even people this kind of people that like to have other people feel pity for them, they know they never have to try me. You know, even if somebody's head, if it's their fault, I'll tell them, yeah, why would you do something like that knowing this would happen? You know, like I don't feel anything for people who have consequences of things that they saw they are coming, like zero.
Good afternoon, Tabo, Musaye. Tabo, I think Lesufi is an electioneering specialist. If you remember, towards I think 2-3 weeks before the last general elections, he promised people that they would go to the nearest private hospital and be attended to there, and the government would pay. And he always has people clapping around for him when he makes all these ridiculous promises.
Yeah.
So he said people would go to private clinics and get help, and government would pay. Something that will never, ever, ever happen. Okay. So yeah, he's an electioneering specialist. He's as useless as his predecessor, that guy Makura. So yeah, that's my take. These ANC guys must just be voted out. They are downright useless. Thanks.
Yeah. So first things first. Earlier on, we were asking as to whether you're a good person or not, and we forced you to put a mirror in front of you, saying if circumstances were different, if things were in your favor, monetarily and otherwise, would you still be the person that you are right now, or seemingly good person? And are you a good person? And my argument and other people's argument was that you are only good simply because of circumstances around you. Your principled stance on goodness and virtue is mainly for you to survive. If you had things your way, you wouldn't be who you are. At least not many people would be that way. Only a few would be good, I'd like to believe. So I asked you a very tough question, and I know that a lot of you are hesitant to respond to it. Would you be a good person if you had everything and anything else that you wanted? The real answer is no, you wouldn't. Really, you wouldn't. That's my argument, but I'd love to hear from you on 072 702 1702. But also, the previous voice note about Panyaza Lesufi, very important. It comes on the backdrop of the motion of no confidence placed on the table by the Democratic Alliance that wanted to put out Panyaza Lesufi as the Premier of Gauteng Province. A number of parties, many parties, as you might have heard from Alpha Ramushwana, many parties said, no, let Panyaza stay. Let Panyaza stay. But I'll also tell you the hypocrisy of those particular political parties. The very next day, tomorrow, they'll be the ones who are complaining about the levels of crime in Gauteng. They'll be the ones standing up in the legislature pointing as 10,000 mistakes that Panyaza has made. But when the tire hits the tar, things are different, right? Political parties start looking out for their own personal survival. They start looking out only for self-preservation. They vote in a certain way, but they walk differently. They take a different walk and vote in a certain way. I don't think so. I don't think so. You can't have it your way. You can't have your cake and eat it at the same time. But more importantly, I wanted to know from you, as a resident of Gauteng, please let me know. Would you have wanted Panyaza to go? Or you are happy that he stayed? On 072 702 1702. 4 o'clock on the dot.
This is EWN.
The DA's bid to oust Lesufi fails, and more details emerge on the 153 Palestinians. Good afternoon, I'm Khomuso Modise. The DA's bid to oust Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi has failed in the legislature. Lesufi survived a motion of no confidence against him this afternoon. The motion was brought by the DA, which accuses Lesufi of mishandling allegations of corruption regarding Tembisa hospital tenders and negligence regarding the unconstitutional establishment of crime prevention wardens. However, the DA has failed to convince the majority of the political parties in the provincial legislature to support its motion. Alpha Ramushwana reports.
The Gauteng provincial legislature consists of 11 political parties, most of which refused to support the motion of no confidence against Premier Panyaza Lesufi. Only the DA voted in favor of removing him, while all other parties, including those in the opposition, voted for Lesufi to remain in office. Parties that rejected the motion argued that the DA's proposal was frivolous and pointed out that it was the DA itself that helped elect Lesufi last year. Lesufi has been addressing supporters outside the provincial legislature.
They put a racist banner here. Government has removed that banner, and we want to thank local government for removing that particular banner.
The Freedom Front Plus refused to support the DA's motion against the Premier and chose to abstain from the vote. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
The Department of Home Affairs says the 153 travelers from Palestine did not apply for asylum. The group landed at the OR Tambo International Airport yesterday morning from Nairobi, Kenya. The department says they were not allowed to disembark the plane as they didn't have the customary departure stamps in their passports. After receiving more information from the Palestinian embassy and getting confirmation that they would have to have a place to stay, the department allowed them entry into the country. Home Affairs Minister Leon Schreiber.
I presented the new fact set to the BMA Commissioner for consideration, including on humanitarian grounds. Once satisfied that the absence of certain elements from their itinerary would not leave them destitute in South Africa in the absence of any asylum claims, the travellers were granted entry into South Africa on the standard 90-day visa exemption, subject to compliance with the standard condition.
The Western Cape Police Ombudsman says investigations are still underway to determine whether gangs infiltrated the province's top cops. Police Ombudsman Major General Oswald Reddy released a redacted report yesterday after the Western Cape government lodged a complaint related to alleged police infiltration by gangs in October 2022. The allegations stem from a ruling by Judge Daniel Tulare during a High Court trial, which referenced possible infiltration of police management in the province by the 28 gang. Reddy says both the Independent Police Investigative Directorate and Parliament are still investigating the matter.
I am aware that they are currently conducting an investigation into the criminal aspects.
Western Cape Premier Alan Windey says he's been waiting for an update from IPID for more than a year.
It took a year before the IPID team even put their investigation plan together, and then they said we'll come back in another year, and that's already passed, but we have written to them to say give us the update on where you are with this investigation.
At the same time, Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Police on Oversight is also busy with its own probe into the allegations. The Gauteng Health Department says it will be rolling out regular community outreach programs in under-resourced areas as part of its broader efforts to tackle diabetes. One of these drives is underway at Protea South Community Hall in Soweto today to highlight the effects of diabetes. The department's clinical advisor, Dr. Kaugelo Molefe, says health teams are moving directly into communities to boost diabetes awareness.
Where we go to the communities with our health services as Gauteng Department of Health, where we encourage and set up health services where screening for diabetes is one of the services that we offer, along with other comorbidities.
And thousands of doctors in England have begun a 5-day strike over pay and training posts. This is the 13th walkout by medics since March 2023. The Health Minister, Wes Streeting, has condemned the strike, accusing leadership of the Doctors' Union, British Medical Association, of choosing confrontation over care. The BMA argues that the resident doctors need a 26% pay hike to restore their earnings to the real value they had 2 decades ago. The union is also demanding an increase in training posts. Gold is trading at $4,057.80 an ounce. The rand's at 17.17 to the dollar, 22.61 to the pound, and 20 on the dot to the euro. Brent crude oil's at $63.01 a barrel.
Tembisa accident scene R21 northbound near Olifantsfontein Road causing huge delays. There's also bumper-to-bumper traffic in the Bedford-View area. This is on the N3 in both directions between Linksfield Road and the Galdenays interchange. And if you're traveling through the Joburg CBD, slow-moving traffic, M1 southbound between Killarney Benz and the Crown interchange.
In your world of sports, Proteas coach Shukri Conrad said that the pitch does not give his boys confidence for day 2. This after they were bowled out for 159 in their first innings of day 1 of their first test against India. While for Siya Kolisi, Bowen Venter, Kurtley Arendse and Damian Willemse, they are the only 4 players to retain their start for the Springbok game against Italy tomorrow. And the African Cup of Nations is 5 weeks away, and coach Hugo Brosh gets to test just how deep his squad depth goes when they meet Zambia for a friendly in Gqeberha tomorrow. I'll have more on these just before 5.
It's a cloudy Friday in Gauteng with isolated afternoon showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures have peaked at between 25 and 27. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour, the DA's bid to oust Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi has failed in the legislature.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live.
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7.
And 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
John Perlman is not here, and Thabo Shola is in his stead. That would be me. I don't know why I'm referring to myself as a third person. Who knows? 7 minutes after 4 o'clock. Thanks for joining us, and it's always great being here with you. In this hour, we will look at the World Diabetes Day. We'll speak to Dr. Musima Mabunda, and she is Discovery Vitality's Chief Clinical Officer. Diabetes is a silent killer. It attacks a number of individuals. We can't get tired of speaking about it. And a lot of people do not go and check their status. So it's very important to reflect on this. And a lot of people are living with diabetes. They found a way of doing so. And would like to know from you, are you one of these people? And how has it been for you? We'll touch on that at about 20 minutes after 4 o'clock. And for now, you remember Nkabinde yesterday. I mean, the chief of staff in the police, in the minister's office, he contradicted himself. It was just a mess. As a result, the EFF has laid a complaint against Nkabinde for misleading Parliament inquiry, and they have said that he needs to face the music. In a short while, we'll speak to the EFF about all this and more. Cedric Nkabinde from EFF will join us about this. Not Cedric Nkabinde, but the EFF will join us to speak about how Cedric Nkabinde has contradicted himself so much that he had to stop. They had to halt the entire thing. Sombali Dlamini will join us for that conversation in a short while. It's 8 minutes after 4 o'clock. I'd love to hear from you. Earlier on, I asked, are you a good person, or do circumstances force you to be accommodating and tolerant?
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hi, Thabo. I can categorically say I'm a good person. And that's not what I say, it's what people have told me. I've lived both lives, when I was broke and when I had everything. And my character has never changed. The person I am has never changed. I've always been good. I am a good person, and God willing, I will live my life as a good person. Whether I was broke, whether I had the finances, my character and my nature has never ever changed. So money will never ever change me.
Very interesting. 011-883-0702. 9 minutes after 4.
EWN Traffic.
EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 rands. Garabo, the roads, how do they look?
Well, we're still dealing with that accident seen in the Tembisa area, R21 northbound near Olifantsfontein Road, causing huge delays. So if you are leaving OR Tambo International Airport, heading towards the Pretoria area, avoid this route. That's the R21 north. Rather use Pretoria Road. That's through the Kempton Park area. There's also slow-moving traffic. This is in the Bedfordview area on the N3 southbound between Linksfield Road and the Haldenays interchange. Alberton traveling towards Soweto. You can expect some delays on the N12 westbound between the Elands interchange and the Reading interchange. Sandton traffic remains congested on the M1 northbound between Ethel Oakland and the Butlu interchange. Midrand also expect delays heading towards Pretoria. N1 northbound between Allendale and New Road. Bryanston, slow-moving traffic. N1 south between Rivonia Road and the Butlu interchange. There's also bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is through the Joburg CBD on the M1 southbound from the Killarney Bends all the way to the Crown interchange. And finally in Devland, roadworks causing heavy delays on the Golden Highway between the N1 and Union Avenue. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance pointsmen can't help you find the right outfit for the date, but they can ease the traffic congestion so you can get to the restaurant on time to feel the butterflies in your tummy. With the Outsurance pointsmen on the roads for the past 20 years, we can all get where we need to be quickly and safely. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out, in proud partnership with 702. Show them some love online using hashtag pointsmenlove, licensed insurer and FSP.
In the last 24 hours, this is what's happened in your world.
Just more than 15 months into the Government of National Unity, the DA is making the first changes to its executive lineup of 6 ministers and 6 deputy ministers. Leader John Steenhuisen says there was no malicious intent behind Dion George's removal.
Like any organisation and any government in the world, you assess how things are going and you obviously try and move people around to make sure you're getting the maximum benefit of that.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
Study your law degree at Regenesis Law School in Sandton or online and build a successful future with leading multinational corporations or launch your own legal practice. A Regenesis Law degree is profoundly transformational, shaping intellectually sharp, fearless warriors of justice and purpose-driven lawyers. Regenesis is Africa's fastest growing education institution with 1,000 multinational clients across 12 countries and a faculty of 100 industry experts. Enroll now for your law degree at Regenesis Law School at law.regenesis.net.
Whether it is a CCMA referral, problems with a mechanic, unfair blacklisting, or an uncontested divorce, Clientele Legal offers professional legal services to all South Africans. Our plans are affordable, and you receive up to 745,000 Rand worth of legal services per year. We cover civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Our nationwide legal teams are standing by to support you 24 hours a day. Plus, all plans include a 5,000 Rand bail benefit. Join today. SMS LEGAL to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
You want a new car, but prices keep climbing, the timing doesn't feel right, the deals are never good enough. Until now. The Motor Select Demo Deal Dash is back this Friday and Saturday only. Get up to 100,000 Rand trade-in assist on over 1,800 demo models across 26 leading brands, all backed by SA's largest and leading dealer network. It's just 2 days. Visit motorselect.co.za to shop our demo range now.
In business, credit allows SMEs to better manage their everyday expenses. Absa gets it. SMEs have been grinding all year round, but during the festive season, it's time to take it up a gear with the Absa Business Revolve credit card. This Monday from 3 p.m., 702 Drive with John Perlman chats to Pascal Albrecht, Executive for Commercial Issuing Product at Absa Business Banking. Tune in to get the lowdown with Absa on 702. Absa is an authorized FSP and a registered credit provider.
702 Podcast
on primemediaplus.com.
15 after 4 o'clock, we spoke about Cedric Nkabinde, who made literally a buffoon of himself yesterday in Parliament. And MPs had to decide that he needed to stop because they gave him a break and saying, maybe take the next 10 days to go and think of what you're saying. Central to that, thumb-sucking. That's what he said, that he's been thumb-sucking some information. In Parliament, you are thumb-sucking, sitting in front of an ad hoc committee, having prepared, having been told, knowing the seriousness of all of this, you still go there and thumb-suck some information. Mbali Dlamini is EFF Member of Parliament and member of Central Command Team. Mbali, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having us on your show.
Thanks for coming through. This is very serious, and for some time, Bali, we've been seeing MPs from across party lines really standing together, and we saw a formidable force for South Africa. And if you're not wearing your colors, we wouldn't know who's green, black, or gold, or even red in your instance. What do you make of Cedric's testimony yesterday, and what was the straw that broke the camel's back?
With Cedric Nkabinde, basically for us is that he deliberately misled Parliament with the intention to certain cartels, and he just showed his lack of seriousness with what the ad hoc committee seeks to achieve.
Mbali, apologies, I've lost you for a little while. You were very audible, then you, for a second, it just turned as if we are on speaker or something. Was there any adjustment to your? Oh, thank you so much. You're back again.
All right.
Perfect.
So apologies about that.
No worries. No worries.
I was just saying that Cedric Nkabinde deliberately went to Parliament to mislead so that he can conceal some information that the ad hoc committee has been working tirelessly to get. South Africans have been seeking answers as to why certain matters, when they are getting to law enforcement agencies, they take a while, or there's no accountability when certain things are exposed to the justice system and there is no persecution thereof. And so the ad hoc committee has been working tirelessly to uncover exactly what is it that is happening that makes cases stall, or what influence do members in law enforcement agencies have to stall cases. And what Cedric Nkabinde did yesterday was to mislead Parliament and turn the whole thing into a joke. So the EFF decided to go and open a case of perjury officially, so that we can send a message to anyone else who comes to the ad hoc committee with the intention to conceal and not take the committee seriously, that we send a strong message that we are not going to tolerate it, and we are going to follow it up and ensure that he's persecuted for his acts.
He also, misrepresented the facts in his own statement and around specific dates that were relating to the now minister who's on special leave.
I lost you there for a second. Sorry, could you please repeat?
Yeah, no, I was just saying that he also misrepresented the facts in his own sworn statement, and that must have also ignited some ire from MPs, including Julius Malema, the CIC of your party.
Absolutely. So what he did, he writes an affidavit, which is then a sworn statement as well. He takes an oath in Parliament. You can't write an affidavit and not be aware of what exactly is the context behind it. And then when you are given an opportunity to give a verbal presentation of what you have written down, you mislead Parliament, you call it thumb sucking, you mismatch the dates. But essentially what he was trying to do was to try to give an impression that he had no relationship with Kat Matlala at a particular time, and then force and continue to mislead Parliament and grandstand and somersault his way, thinking that he will get away with it.
Mbali, the case is opened, though. In closing, the case is opened, and when are we going to hear from the authorities? Do you know?
So we are going to follow up the case. So we have officially have a case number opened. We are going to follow it up with the station commander. So the case was officially opened in Western Cape. So ours is just to follow it up completely and then update the public as and the progress the case makes.
Thank you so much, Mbali Dlamini, EFF Member of Parliament and member of the Central Command Team. 20 minutes after 4.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
702 indeed. Diabetes is a very serious condition, and we've invited Dr. Musima Mabunda to come and give us insights on the silent killer. She is Discovery Vitality's Chief Clinical Officer, and we do know that every single now and then, and now for decades, the conversation around diabetes has centered around diet and exercise. But what if we've been overlooking some critical issues, like that pillar that's hiding in plain sight, one that happens in the dark every single night? So November 14th is World Diabetes Day, and we thought we should hear from the experts about this. Dr. Musima, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702.
Thank you so much for having me, and good afternoon to your listeners.
Still a serious subject. However, it's almost, swimming under the waters, and it's still not a fully fledged topic on the table and front and center in our lives. Why is that so, Dr. Musima?
Let me start by saying I'm glad you're having this conversation as we commemorate World Diabetes Day. diabetes is very common. We have over 2.3 million South Africans that are living with diabetes. And according to the International Diabetes Federation, this number is actually going to keep rising unless something changes. And I just want to pick on what you kind of said. If we just look at the lifestyle interventions that can help reduce the risk of diabetes, healthy eating and exercise, absolutely critical, absolutely important, and they play a big role in reducing the risk and the management of diabetes. But the third pillar, for lack of a better word, even though I don't like calling sleep a pillar, is sleep. The American Diabetes Association and many other diabetes associations across the world have actually now recognized and added sleep as a central component in managing type 2 diabetes.
Really?
Putting it in line with diet and exercise. So the conversation is broader when we say our lifestyle influences our health. It's no longer just diet and exercise. The link between sleep, diet, exercise, and diabetes is there. And looking after all of these components together is actually critical in helping reduce the risk of diabetes. So I'm glad you're actually shining a spotlight on this one additional pillar.
Yeah, say a little bit more, meaning the less sleep you have, obviously combined with other factors, your diet, exercise, but sleep now is one of the factors in this triduum.
Correct. So I want to reference a report that we published early October called the Sleep Factor Report. And in the report, it shows that those individuals that sleep less than 6 hours a night have a 65% higher risk of developing diabetes versus those that get 7 hours a night, as an example. And we don't see this trend when you just look at vitality data. Even if you look at the UK data, there's a big, large data set that looks at the UK population, and even in the US, you see a similar pattern. And the other thing that we know, it's not just about how long you sleep, it's how regular your sleep pattern is. For example, this data set in the UK showed that individuals that don't have a regular sleep pattern, and I'll explain what I mean in a second, have a 34% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. So sleeping enough is important, but it's not enough. Being regular is even more important. And by regular, we mean being consistent in your sleep start time and sleeping within 1 hour of your usual sleep window. And by that, I mean if your usual sleep time is 9 p.m., sleeping anytime between 8:30 and 9:30 p.m. That is your 1 hour window. Being regular with that is of absolute importance if you want to enjoy the benefits of good sleep in terms of reducing the risk for diseases.
That is staggering for me, and I'm just perplexed sitting here in the studio and thinking about that. So if I heard you correctly, and I'm sure our listeners perhaps did, better than myself, do you mean that if you go to bed every night at 11 o'clock, it is more helpful than if you were to change and then you sleep at 1 o'clock and then at times you sleep at 2:30. So that also makes a difference as far as diabetes is concerned.
A big difference. Diabetes and many other conditions.
Yeah.
We actually see in our data that out of the components of sleep regularity is the more potent one, right? It is the more potent one. So it's not enough to just say, I'm sleeping 7 hours.
Yeah.
Being regular in your sleep is super important. So it's one thing people need to prioritize, definitely.
Speak about how, if at all, and I'm very stupid on the subject, and some people argue and many others, but that's a story for another day. But on this particular one regarding diabetes, Dr. Musima, why, to tell us about the element of it being hereditary, if at all, because it has been said that if someone, your parents or grandparents had diabetes, you are more likely to also suffer from diabetes.
So in most populations, there's different types of diabetes. There's type 1 diabetes, where your body's not making enough insulin, and there's type 2 diabetes, which accounts for almost 95% of the cases of diabetes. Though the actual causes are not fully known, but where there's overwhelming agreement amongst the clinical community is our lifestyle behaviors influence the risk for diabetes. There's a huge lifestyle component that influences whether you get diabetes or not. And the lifestyle component that I want to highlight is the strong link between excess weight and obesity with diabetes as an example. And that is fueled by things like how you eat, whether you move or not. And sleep actually ultimately is also associated with being overweight and obese. So certainly like the overwhelming causes of diabetes that we're seeing, specifically type 2, which is the more common, are due to lifestyle factors. So I don't want to say for every disease there might be some small genetic component to it, but on this one, by and large, definitely there's a big lifestyle component. And one thing that you see, families tend to share behaviors, right? Families tend, if you eat a certain way and you live a certain way, that will kind of carry on in the family, and you end up being predisposed to similar things because you just have a shared way of living. So I'm not underscoring things that could be inherited, but I want to emphasize the one thing that we know, that the reason we always emphasize lifestyle behaviors, and if you go to anyone in terms of managing what is called pre-diabetes, where your glucose is high but you don't yet have diabetes, most doctors would actually help you focus on your lifestyle, trying to reduce your weight, trying to help you eat healthy, trying to get you to exercise, because those in combination might actually delay the onset of actual diabetes, such that you don't actually have diabetes in the end, or it starts much, much later.
It's not doom and gloom. As we say goodbye, Dr. Musima, you can actually live a very full, happy, healthier life with diabetes. You need to manage it.
So the line is cutting. I'm hearing you saying that, is it possible to lead a normal life when you have diabetes?
Yes.
Absolutely. Many of these non-communicable diseases, diabetes, hypertension, it's important to screen, like we raise healthy lifestyle, but it's important to go for your annual vitality health check or any health check where they will check for your glucose. Because when they're managed, people lead normal lives. People live longer. I mean, I know there are people that are even cycling and doing endurance sports and doing great things despite living with the condition. So well managed, detected on time, you will enjoy a long, healthy life. Yes. Dr.
Musima Mabunda, Discovery Vitality's Chief Clinical Officer. Thank you so much. 1628.
EWN Business.
And with that, we usher in the SG of broadcasting in South Africa, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Stephen Grotes. How's it going, buddy?
Thabo, it's so good to see you.
Lovely to see you.
How are you?
Are you well?
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Are the markets well? I suppose
no, they were great yesterday. Where were you yesterday?
Look what I've brought, rain and bad markets.
Well, they were going to bring misery. So the JSE All Shares down 2 2/3% at 111,016 points. Financials down 1.16%. Industrials down 2 1/4%. But resources, as always, down 4.9% on the day. Partly because gold and platinum prices are much weaker. By the way, we just need to start watching the oil price. There's a suggestion on Reuters that a big Black Sea port of Russia, Novorossiysk, has suspended oil exports because of drone attacks by Ukraine. Those exports are worth about 2% of global supply, so you can just imagine the impact that's going to have. All right, so if we look at the board, Richmond is up 4.46%, and the good news pretty much ends there. It said its group sales were up by 10% at constant rates. This is luxury goods. Their operating profits risen to 2.4 billion euros for the 6 months to the end of September. Their jewelry business saw growth in all regions. Also says there's been a slower rate of decline at specialized watchmakers during the period. Datatech is up 1.36% and Sasol's up 0.5%. Harmony down 7.82%. Anglo Gold, Goldfields all down very significantly. It's lower gold prices. They've had such a run that this is what's going to happen. Eteltal also down 4.64%, while Naspers and Prosus both down by around 4% on the day. Confirmation, the British fintech company Revolut, which is applying for a banking license here, they've appointed Dr. Gabi Mokhomala as the chair of their operations in South Africa. He's a former CEO at African Bank, so they're not messing around. Revolut said in September they'll apply for a license. There's a long queue at that particular office of the Reserve Bank. So many people are starting banks in South Africa at the moment.
And for right measure, right? Because the market is lucrative. Look at how Capitec has capitalized on a certain market. And it looks like we are very fertile for the banking industry.
And everyone needs to borrow money. I mean, isn't that the thing?
I suppose.
World markets have been down today. There have been officials from the US Federal Reserve sort of suggesting that actually they're not that keen on an interest rate cut. It's all about the data. Now, the US federal government closed for 42 days, so you're still waiting for lots of releases. That's also having an impact on US stock index futures. They're just opening now. They were heading down. The gold price, $4,052.21 rand an ounce, dollars an ounce. Platinum, $1,531.70. Brent crude, $64.13. The rand to the dollar, 17.15 to the euro, 19.93 to the British pound, 22.58. Stephen Crutius, EWN Business.
And that's why we call them the SG of broadcasting. EWN headlines with Khomotso Modise standing by. Khomotso, what's the latest? Good afternoon to you.
Thanks, Tabo. Good afternoon. With wage negotiations settled, FlySafair says it's now looking forward to continued growth and operational reliability as the airline ramps up capacity ahead of the G20 Leaders Summit. The company's finally reached agreement with the South African Cabin Crew Association, bringing an end to a labour dispute that lasted several weeks. FlySafair's Kirby Gordon says they've now secured multi-year agreements with both unions representing pilots and cabin crew, ensuring labour stability for the next 4 years.
So we're looking at increases to the base pay of between 6 and 6.9% over the various years, a guaranteed bonus of 7.5%, then obviously the agreed notch progressions for the cabin attendants, and then a meal allowance that's built in of 30 Rand per day that they're operating. So all in all, once that comes together, it's an effective increase of about 19% per individual, which is, I think, incredibly generous in the current economic climate. We've seen most employers give between 3 and 5% this year.
Gordon says employees who were locked out will resume services next week.
Obviously, those that were locked out and not participating in or withholding their labour at this stage have not been actually included into the current roster. So they'll be rostered in now and included on the schedules from next week going forward. And of course, what's great is that now for the rest of our crew, we can actually publish our rosters forward for a whole month as opposed to operating on a week-to-week basis.
Members of Parliament have continued their criticism of Minister Enoch Godongwana's medium-term budget policy statement, especially the country's low-growth prospects. Godongwana's meetings with the international markets and major U.S. banks like J.P. Morgan without reaching out to local social partners has also come into focus. Godongwana and the National Treasury were engaging MPs before a joint meeting of Parliament's Finance and Appropriation Committees from the National Assembly and National Council of Provinces today. Baba Londenze reports.
Minister Enoch Godongwana was back in Parliament just a day after his medium-term budget, where he presented a lower GDP growth projection of 1.2%. This remains a serious concern for members who've questioned the point of doing growth projections that are never met. Action SA MP Ellen Beasley.
For me, the massive disappointment in this budget was just the GDP growth. And I was very surprised to see the GNU stand and applaud 1.2%.
EFF MP Ompile Mautwe says Godongwana chose to consult with major international banks instead of local structures.
We have a couple of secret meetings that we held, but the social partners and the democratic structures in this country have not been consulted. So, did you and the National Treasury consult NETLEC?
Director General Duncan Peterser says global growth is sitting at a below-average 3.2% in 2025, and South Africa operates in the same global markets when it comes to demand for exports. Baba Londenza, Eyewitness News.
And Russian officials say debris from a Ukrainian drone hit a nuclear plant, temporarily causing the station to reduce its output. They claim approximately 8 drones were directed at the nuclear plant yesterday, which was only fully reconnected today. Officials say all the drones were neutralized and shot down, but the debris fell and damaged the main switch gear on the plant. Ukraine has not responded to the allegations made by Russia. A cloudy Saturday in store for Gauteng tomorrow, with scattered afternoon showers and thunder showers expected. Temperatures at lows of between 15 and 16 and highs of between 24 and 26.
Accident seen in Tembisa, R21 northbound near Olifantsfontein Road, causing huge delays in Bedfordview. There's still traffic pressure on the N3 southbound between Linksfield Road and the Haldenays interchange, and in Bryanston expect some delays on the N1 south between Rivonia Road and Winnie Mandela Drive.
The top story in EWN, with wage negotiations settled, FlySafair says it's now looking forward to continued growth and operational reliability as the airline ramps up capacity ahead of the G20 Leaders Summit.
Clement Manyatela.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Ambassador, I wanted to understand, why did they not want to apply for asylum?
Because they do not want to stay in South Africa for the rest of their lives. Because we were explaining to them, according to the rules and regulations of the Home Affairs that we received yesterday, if you want to apply for asylum, they will take your passport. You might not be able to travel. You might not be able to go out. And you might not be able to get your passport until you receive an answer. And it might take 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Most of the people who came, they do not speak English, so they have a language barrier. Most of them, they just want to have a small break, but definitely they want to go back in Gaza.
Hanan Jara, ambassador of the State of Palestine to the Republic of South Africa.
Clements Manyatela.
9 to 12 on 702.
The all-new Audi A5 has arrived with a panoramic sunroof that changes transparency and a B&O sound system built into the headrests. Every detail makes driving feel like an art form. Visit Audi dealership, book a test drive and experience the Audi A5 from 14,499 per month with a guaranteed future value. Visit audi.co.za for more. T's and C's apply. Brought to you by Audi Financial Services, a division of Volkswagen Financial Services South Africa Pty Limited, an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
Brush, stroke, paint, color, protect, and admire. From roof paint to exterior textures and interior silk, Warrior Paints has it all. The product range and stylish colors are amazing. And what's more, Warrior Paints has crushed prices for incredible savings. Enjoy that good old-fashioned personal service you deserve. For price, quality, variety, and service, Warrior Paints is streets ahead. Warrior Paints. Affordable, lasting luxury.
Step into a world of unforgettable experiences in Dubai. From luxury beaches to underwater adventures. From authentic traditions to futuristic museums. Make it a Dubai adventure to remember with Emirates. Fly to Dubai from one of 3 gateways in South Africa. Start your holiday the moment you board with delicious regional meals, complimentary drinks, and up to 6,500 channels of entertainment. Fly Emirates, fly better.
702 was in conversation with Momentum on The Money Show with Stephen Grootes, discussing the power of focus and the science of success.
You've developed a thing called money fingerprint. I mean, what is that? How does that sort of drive our financial decisions?
So basically, we're giving the ability to financial advisors to have discussions with clients or investors about their kind of factory settings, right? So we all have these attitudes, experiences that we collect throughout our lives. We have personality traits, that's our set of characteristics that make us who we are. And this sort of interacts with markets, it interacts with various sort of things that happen in the world, and it influences our behavior. So basically what we're doing is we're giving financial advisors the ability to look at this scientifically through a psychometric assessment to try and bring out what these likely behaviors might be and then try and help people get that outcome.
Visit momentum.co.za for more info. Momentum, your journey to success. Momentum is an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Good afternoon, Tibos. 702 lenders. Little bit off topic here, man. Did I hear correctly? Is Putin coming for the G20 summit? Did I hear correctly? Is he coming for the summit? And my question is, what's going to happen to his warrant of arrest on that international criminal court matter? Please enlighten me there. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy day, 702 lenders.
Tabo, it's so regrettable that us South Africans who are so gullible, we still believe in ANC. The shouting, the screaming for Panyaza. Panyaza is so useless, guys. ANC as a whole is useless. So you can't trust the South Africans because they'll still vote this rotten ANC in. But anyway, they are doing it for their own children. It's up to them. Thank you. That's my demo.
Yeah, and that voice note was responding to the question that we asked earlier on, that given an opportunity, if you were in the chamber in the House, at the legislature this afternoon, and the vote of no confidence, the motion was passed. How would you have voted? Would you have voted to keep Panyaza Lesufi on as Premier, or would you have voted to get rid of him? Of course, the motion failed. He is still the Premier, and he's emboldened now, and he was addressing people outside the legislature and expressing that this motion was frivolous to start off with. A number of issues are pertinent in Gauteng province, and we need to put them on display. Are you happy with the way that this province is being run as someone who is from Gauteng? And we asked you to let us know, hence that voice note that came through. And there was another voice note about Putin coming to South Africa. I must confess, I didn't hear. The last I checked, he was not coming. I could be wrong. Please note, I could be wrong. The last time I checked, he was not coming, and a high-level delegation was going to be sent for the G20 summit. But even if he were to come here, I doubt if that warrant would be executed accordingly. We failed with al-Bashir, you remember, swiftly got him out of the country as the court session was underway. I don't think that we would have the wherewithal to arrest him, even though we are signatories to The Hague, even though we are committed to the Charter. I don't think that would happen that easily. I honestly, I would not see that happening at all. Well, I suppose now we won't know, right? I don't think that is coming. The last time I checked, but if it is, it would be very interesting. It would be very interesting to see how things unfold. 18 minutes to 5 o'clock on 702.
EWN Sport.
With Tato Moloto, he'll give us the very latest. Tato, how does the world of sport look right now?
Afternoon, Tabo. It's looking quite interesting. Skipper Siya Kolisi, Bowen Venter, Kurtley Arendse and Damian Willemse are the only 4 players to keep their spots in the Springbok starting lineup. The Boks meet Italy tomorrow just after 2 in the afternoon. Handré Pollard is back, so is Morne van der Berg. They are pairing together there at the back. 11 changes in total for Rassie Erasmus in this game, in what he calls resting the regular players.
Coming off that physical battle against France, although we won and we were down to 14 men, it really took a lot out of the guys, and the travel schedule from there was really pretty tough. It was late nights to get here, early morning flights and bus trips, and so the training on Monday was tough for the guys. They were really stiff, but the guys who's playing is pretty young.
It's raining rugby tomorrow because England up against All Blacks, Wales meet Japan, and Ireland face a struggling Australian side, and France up against Fiji. In cricket, Proteas coach Shukri Conrad says he does not believe the pitch conditions gave his boys confidence for day 2 of their test against India. South Africa were bowled out for 159 earlier on today in their first innings, this for day 1 of their first test.
Secondly, my assessment of the surface, probably after 4 or 5 deliveries in the first over, I think the signs were there pretty early on that the bounce is not consistent. I don't particularly believe that any of the batters grew in confidence because of the inconsistency of the bounce.
Play continues tomorrow morning with India trailing South Africa by 122 runs. Back home, Boerland meet Dolphins now at 5, while the Dragons face Titans in the T20 Challenge at 6. In Gqeberha tomorrow, Bafana have a very important friendly against Zambia at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. An important clash for coach Hugo Brosh because this seems to be the squad that he will go to the African Cup of Nations with starting in the next 5 weeks.
Those who were already on a World Cup or an AFCON with -20 or -17, they have already that. But you have to continue. But now the next step has to be done. And if you don't go on working with those guys, all that talent will be lost in as quick as you can think.
At the Under-17 World Cup, Amajimbos have a knockout clash against Japan tomorrow as well. This happening in the afternoon just before 3, with questions around inconsistency of his backline. Coach Vela Kumalo says it's all because of injuries.
We are having too many injuries here. That is why we chop and change the team. At the same time, we are trying to manage the red card. We were hoping that we will build with the tournament, but these injuries are not new injuries, are injuries that they carried from their different or respective clubs. But we are going to soldier on, and hopefully when we play the knockout, we'll be having everybody on board.
Tato Moloto, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you. Mr. K, the roads, how do they look?
Well, let me start in the Centurion area where there's bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is on the N1 northbound between John Foster and the R21 Flying Saucer interchange. Tembisa, we're still dealing with that accident scene. R21 northbound near Olifantsfontein Road, still causing about a 20-minute delay all the way from the R25 Popsfontein off-ramp. Bedfordview, traffic sluggish. N3 southbound between Linksfield Road and the Haldenes interchange. Midrand also expect delays heading towards Pretoria. N1 northbound between Allendale and New Road. Bryanston, there's slow-moving traffic on the N1 southbound from Rivonia Road to Winnie Mandela Drive. Driving through the Joburg CBD heading towards Boysons, traffic is sluggish. M1 southbound between Killarney Bains and the Crown interchange. And finally, in Devland, we have roadworks causing heavy delays on the Golden Highway between the N1 and Union Avenue. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. Majestic handling. A V8
horsepower that is... This is very annoying. I'm trying to read a car radio advertisement.
Whatever car you want to buy or sell, cut through the and just go to cars.coza and let's find what moves you. Cars.coza.
702 Podcast
on primemediaplus.com.
13 minutes to 5 o'clock. John Perlman is not here. My name is Thabo Shola Mashao in his stead. Great having you with us. Keep sending those voice notes to 072-702-1702. Alternatively, your text messages to that very same number, or call us on 011-883-0702. Guys, Tato is in the studio as well. He is doing sports, Karabo, traffic. I wanted to ask you a question. Have you ever been helped by a complete stranger? And when you really needed help, a stranger, and I mean a stranger, not some guy who's in your neighborhood, you don't greet each other, but you'd see one another every now and then, complete stranger. Maybe let me kick off first with a very short story because we don't have a lot of time. I'm driving from Rustenburg some other day, not recently. This must have been easily, 12 years ago or so. And I'm in a hurry for another meeting in Johannesburg. I was attending a meeting that side, and I'm really pushing it. I'm driving and using that Machalis Road, and it's very famous for potholes. And I strike a pothole, and I feel that, oh my goodness me, I might have a puncture here. This is seriously. And as I'm trying to slow down, I hit another pothole. And now I definitely have to stop. I then stop. And then I check the rear end of the vehicle. Yeah, I do have a spare wheel, but it's only one. Now I have two punctured tires and buggered tires. It's almost evening. It's at about 7:30. It's late. It's getting very dark. I'm literally on the side. No houses, nothing close to me. And cars keep passing me by. Out of nowhere, this guy stops, takes out a torch. What can we do? Let me help you. Let me just try to tow you to the nearest garage. He does that. He even finds 2 fresh tires for me, free of charge. Off I go home. I don't have his number. He refused to give me his number, nothing. And I was saved by a stranger. And anything could have happened to me. So you guys? And they're looking at each other. Have you ever been helped by a stranger, Tad?
Absolutely. In fact, I think help is an understatement for what this person did for me. They gave me a lifeline. The year was 2018, just matriculated, and I have this dream of being in the media industry and doing sports and all of it, right? But now I'm a young boy from Mpumalanga, Mashishing. Not a lot of people know where Mashishing is. So you can imagine how shocked my parents were when they found out that I wanted to do media. So now there's this guy. I see a video on social media. It's a DJ. His name is Mo Flavor. He says, guys, I'm giving away bursaries to Boston Media House. If you're a kid and you really want to study, 27th of January 2019, I'll be in Sandton. Come through for an interview, and who knows, you might walk away with a 3-year scholarship. I then take the chance. I take a taxi alone from Mpumalanga to Joburg for the very first time, and I come and I do this interview, and 3 days later, I get to study, and then about 5 years later, I find myself in Prime Media working with More Flavor.
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
Is that why you sound like him? I'm joking. Just joking. Let's leave it at that. Let us know if you've ever been helped by a stranger. 072 702 1702. 9 minutes to 5.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
And around about this time, Rendell will be giving us his favorite tune and a lot to go with it. As you know, whenever I get the opportunity to be here, I try not to listen and to hear it beforehand so that I'm surprised just like you. And he joins us right now, Rendell Abrams. Hey, man, thanks very much, Rendell. I really appreciate your presence again. I know you're going to shock us. I'm free. How are you, Rendell?
Good. Fantastic, yes.
Yeah, what do you have for us today?
Today I have Rima, a song by the name of Calm Down, which was a massive hit, won a VMA in 2023. And I was just reflecting on the success of songs from the continent over the last kind of 5 years, you know, WizKid, maybe 5 to 10 years, but certainly, you know, in the last 5 years, the success of Afrobeats, the success of Amapiano, and this particular track, you know, when I was doing some research, it came up in that it hit 1 billion streams in the US alone.
What?
It obviously had the push of a big record company, Universal Music, behind it, and also the collaboration with Selena Gomez.
Yes.
But I think we mustn't forget that as much as it's a collaboration from our side, it's also from the African side. It's certainly a collaboration from her side as well. You know, nobody's going to do a collaboration unless they don't feel strong about it musically, or that from a commercial point of view, it's going to be very successful.
Yes.
And in the case of this song, it certainly went on to do exactly that.
And I think it also like you're rightly saying, it benefited Selena Gomez greatly as well. It was not a one-way street. Definitely, she had a lot of low-hanging fruit coming her way. But what is it about the song? I mean, is it just a feel-good song? Is it just to get you dancing?
It's a feel-good song. I mean, the lyrics are quite, you know, for want of a better term, simple. But I think we mustn't forget, you know, having simple and direct lyrics. I mean, take the success of ABBA. I mean, right?
Yeah.
And also, things that are complex don't have to be. Sometimes simplicity, what seems simple, is not that easy to achieve. But the track is, you know, really very. I mean, for want of a better term, it's both radio and dance floor friendly.
Yeah.
And I just think there's something infectious about Amapiano, Afrobeats. I get so many people saying to me, yeah, but they don't play real instruments. I say, yes, but there are lots of people who play real instruments and are unbelievably boring. I wouldn't listen to their music if you paid me.
I thought you were going to use another word. I was going to say it's a family radio station, man. Take it easy.
No, not at all. I think that, you know, again, I've said this to John before, maybe to you.
Yeah.
You know, people will say, but they're using samples or they're using computers. I'm like, okay, I could give you all the computers and all the tracks in the world to sample, but doesn't mean you're going to come up with anything as good as Calm Down, right?
Yes. You still have to be good at it. Let's take a listen, Rendell, and we'll come back to it. 6 minutes to 5.
Baby, calm down. Yo, this your body, it puts in my heart for lockdown, oh lockdown. Yo, you sweet life, phantom. If I tell you, say I love you, no day for me, young girl, oh young girl. No, tell me, no, oh. Baby, gon' give me your lo. You got me like, Shawty gon' give me your lo. outside, say make her rest more. As me I wake up, now she did my mind don't walk. Day one, day two, one of you focus.
Rendell, this is definitely a banger, man. Really great. I'm sure you've made a lot of
Absolutely.
people's Friday.
I hope so.
Yeah. But there's.
I think the other thing that
Sorry, go ahead.
The other thing that I wanted to mention also is that, songs, as much as people stand on the shoulders of giants, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like something comes out of absolutely nowhere. And
Yes.
we mustn't forget, as I said, Wizkid had a very big hit song called Essence from the album made in Lagos in 2020. And Thames, who featured on that record, went on to collaborate with both Rihanna and Beyonce. So before this record hit a billion streams, there was quite a slipstream in order to get into. There'd been other successes, and as I say, it kind of after that it became an avalanche. Obviously, we've had the amazing success of Tyler, both in the US and in the Far East, and I think things are just only going to get bigger.
Yeah, we look forward to your next one, Rendell's One Song. Appreciate it, Rendell. Have a lovely weekend.
Thank you.
Rendell's One Song here on 7:02, 2 minutes to 5 o'clock.
Let's count backward. 5. Insurance. 4. Pineapple. 3. Insurance. 2. Pineapple. 1. You're under. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Make the winning move when you play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 42 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Friday. That's right. Play Powerball for an estimated 36 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 6 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old or play responsibly. E2 is a proud operator of the National Lottery.
The Dial-A-Bed Black Friday sale is now on with 20% off absolutely everything. Start Black Friday shopping today and save thousands on all our best brands. 40 Winks, Sealy, Simmons, Dunlop-Pillow, King Coil in all sizes, all less 20% and all ready for fast delivery. Dial-A-Bed. Sleep for life.
Let's walk the talk.
7:02.
A little after news, we will have a chat with Karen Mon, legal journalist from News 24, and we'll catch up on the Matlanga Commission and the ad hoc committee that has been taking place in Parliament. 5 o'clock on the dot.
This is EWN.
Lesufi thanks opposition parties who helped keep him in office, and Ramaphosa calls for compassion for the Palestinian travelers. Good afternoon, I'm Khomoto Modise. Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi has expressed gratitude to all political parties that voted against the DA's motion of no confidence in him. Lesufi survived the motion in the provincial legislature today after it was tabled by the DA. The party had raised concerns over his allegedly unconstitutional establishment of the crime prevention wardens. They've also accused him of mishandling issues related to tender corruption at the Tembisa Hospital. Alvara Mushwana reports.
Despite the ANC leading a minority coalition government in the provincial legislature, 9 of the 11 political parties voted to keep Premier Panyaza Lesufi in office. Even parties such as the EFF, Action SA and surprisingly the Freedom Front Plus did not back the DA's bid to remove the Premier. Lesufi says this shows that parties in the Gauteng legislature are tired of political instability.
You have no idea. We are reclaiming what belongs to our people. We are re-energized to confront the racists head on. We are tired of racists. Their time is over. They will never take us from apartheid.
Lesufi believes the DA's motion of no confidence against him was an attempt to settle political scores. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has backed the decision to accept the 153 Palestinian travelers who landed at the OR Tambo International Airport. The group arrived yesterday but was not allowed to disembark for 13 hours because of questions over their documentation. Home Affairs says they were barred from entry as they didn't have the customary departure stamps on their passports, but they've since been granted temporary refugee status for 90 days. Ramaphosa says government has made an exception because of the dire circumstances.
Out of compassion, out of empathy, we must receive them and be able to deal with the situation that they are facing. And it does seem like they were being, flushed out. We will get the details later, but from a humanitarian point of view, we could not return them from whence they have come.
Auditor General Tsakani Maluleke has expressed exercised some of her new powers for the first time by issuing the first certificate of debt, forcing a municipal manager to pay back 4.6 million rand due to an inflated tender. Maluleke told the Standing Committee on the Auditor General in Parliament today that this certificate of debt against the Ngaka Mudiri Molema District Municipal Manager is the first since the Public Audit Act's extended powers came into effect in April 2019. The new milestone, according to Maluleke, follows the material irregularity issued by the Auditor General on overpayment for water tank services rendered to the municipality by a service provider. Baba Londenze reports.
The certificate of debt issued by the AG will hold municipal manager Ellen Losaba personally liable to pay back the money with interest applicable between 30 days after the certificate has been served and the date of full payment. The municipality appointed a service provider in June 2018 to provide water tanking services as part of drought relief and for water and sanitation services to be rendered to various communities as and when required. Auditor General Tsakani Maluleke.
The contract management processes were so weak that this led to a material financial loss of 4.6 million rand. The loss relates to daily tankering schedules that overstated the kilometers that the particular water tankering service provider had claimed.
Maluleke says on issuing the certificate, she also reminded the executive mayor of the municipality that in terms of Section 5B2 of the Public Audit Act, it's the mayor's responsibility as the executive authority to collect the amount specified from the accounting officer. Babalo Ndenze, Eyewitness News.
More than 24,000 law enforcement officers have been deployed across KZN in the run-up to the festive season. This includes various police units, road, traffic, municipal officers, as well as private security. KZN Premier Thamsanqa Ntuli says the teams are tasked with keeping residents and holidaymakers safe over the holiday season. Ntuli addressed the Council Against Crime in Mayville in Durban today.
These members are deployed at ports of entry, beaches, tourist routes, shopping centers, major events, or rather during the major events and the residential areas to ensure a 24/7 visibility, faster response time, and a stronger prevention measures of crime.
And major routes in Johannesburg are set to be closed to traffic in preparation for the G20 summit this weekend. The Road Traffic Management Corporation, together with provincial and Joburg's Metro law enforcement, will be overseeing the closure between 9 and 1 tomorrow. Motorists are urged to use alternative routes to avoid delays. JMPD spokesperson Xolani Fihla says clear signage and real-time updates will be provided.
Law enforcement agencies within Gauteng, and this includes the Road Traffic Management Corporation, Gauteng Traffic Police, Johannesburg Metropolitan Police Department, and South African Police Services, wish to inform all motorists and residents in Gauteng that a coordinated joint operation will take place on 15th of November 2025, resulting in temporary road closures.
Gold's trading at $4,057.80 an ounce. The rand's at 17.17 to the dollar, 22.62 to the pound, and 20.01 to the euro. Brent crude oil's at $63.01 a barrel.
Still dealing with that accident scene in the Tembisa area, R21 northbound near Olifantsfontein Road, causing huge delays. Sunwood Park, Boksburg, heading towards Brakpan. We still have those roadworks. N17 eastbound, slowing down traffic between Rondebolt and Carnival City. And finally, in Devlin, traffic remains heavily backed up due to roadworks on the Golden Highway between the N1 and Union Avenue.
In your world of sports, Proteas coach Shukri Conrad said that the pitch does not give his boys confidence for day 2. This after they were bowled out for 159 in their first innings of day 1 of their first test against India. While for Siya Kolisi, Bowen Venter, Kurtley Arendse and Damian Willemse, they are the only 4 players to retain their start for the Springbok game against Italy tomorrow. And the African Cup of Nations is 5 weeks away, and coach Hugo Brosh gets to test just how deep his squad depth goes when they meet Zambia for a friendly in Gqeberha tomorrow. I'll have more on these just before 5.
A cloudy Saturday in store for Gauteng tomorrow with scattered afternoon showers and thunder showers. Johannesburg dropping to an overnight low of 15, peaking at 24. Pretoria 16 and 26. Vereeniging 15 and 25. The top story in EWN this hour. Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi has expressed gratitude to all political parties that voted against the DA's motion of no confidence in him.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7.
And 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
Eight after 5. Thanks for joining us. You're on 702. I know you've been with us, many of you at least, since 3 o'clock. Thabo Shole Mashao in for John Perlman. Great to be with you all the way till 6 o'clock this afternoon, this evening. And I look forward to your further engagements. We will be chatting to Karen Morn. She of News 24, where she works as the legal journalist. And she is going to give us some insights into generally the rep of the Madlanga Commission over the past week. What can we expect next week? Critical things that came out. You know, in South Africa, you need to have a PhD in politics to follow everything else that is happening. And Karen will assist us to really dissect issues, isolate the ones that we need to do so, and give a bit of perspective that may enlighten us, because there's so much going on. Others simply go over us. And of course, song, book, and a dish will come up a little bit later on. We'll also speak to a political analyst, Professor Tekotse, about what just happened in Gauteng now. The motion of no confidence against Panyaza Lesufi that was not successful. What is the GNU up to next? But how will the face of Gauteng look? It looks like everyone else is united. Does it mean that it's smooth sailing from now, or bumpy roads are still coming up ahead? 9 after 5.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hi there, this is Tebogo Mosito. So I was also helped by a stranger 3 days ago. I was driving in Hekpoort, just near Machalis also. So it was raining. I was on a muddy road and I couldn't get my buggy off the road. I got stuck in the mud and it was getting late. Imagine, it's raining. I'm a woman there. Luckily, a stranger drove past and stopped. The white guy, he asked me, "Where are you going?" I told him my story, that I was trying to find, a quick way to get home, but I got stuck. Then, he sent a tractor to come and tow me out. And I got home safe, and he called me in the evening to check if I'm safe. And we still need those good people that are there to help us.
Tower, great show as always, and also afternoon to all your listeners. So for me, the event where I was assisted by a total stranger was still at primary school, and there was a heavy rainfall. So as I was walking on the road, which was next to a bridge, the water started dragging me. Like I was standing, but then the water was dragging me, and there were people just walking around, and like no one could notice. Tried screaming, but then it was the rain was a bit too loud. So then this other boy, because we're still in primary school, was also going to the same school. He held my hand, and then from there managed to evade, and I could have drowned. And ever since I've been trying to get hold of him wherever I visit home. But that was my life-changing moment for me. Great.
It's amazing how you could get help from a stranger, isn't it? And all those voice notes have come through simply because earlier we were chatting about how strangers helped you in an hour of need. Someone that you did not know at all. Complete stranger coming to your rescue and lifting you out of a messy situation. Has that ever happened to you? Let us know on 072 702 1702. 12 minutes after 5.
EWN Traffic.
With Karabo Chali, he'll tell us what's the latest on our roads, which routes to avoid, and which traffic lights are not working. It's a Friday afternoon / evening, and Karabo has got all of that for us. Karabo, the roads, how do they look?
Yeah, we're still dealing with that accident scene, Thabo, in the Timbisa area. R21 northbound near Olifantsfontein Road, still causing more than a 20-minute delay. Sunwood Park heading towards Brakpan, there's roadworks also causing delays. N17 eastbound between Roodepoort and Carnival City, while in Bedfordview traveling towards Germiston, traffic sluggish on the N3 southbound between Linksfield Road and the Geldenhuys interchange. In Midrand, expect some delays on the N1 north from Allendale to New Road, while in Bryanston, traffic remains a bit sluggish on the N1 southbound between Rivonia Road and Winnie Mandela Drive. Also driving through the Joburg CBD, there's slow-moving traffic. M1 south or between Killarney Benz and the Crown interchange. And finally in Devlin, traveling towards El Dorado Park, there's roadworks causing heavy delays. Golden Highway between the N1 and Union Avenue. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
What is the position of the ANC? Obviously, you're confident that Panyaza Lesufi is doing a good job as Premier.
It's not just the position of the ANC, it's a position of a broad spectrum of parties that are represented in the Gauteng Provincial Government of Unity.
The motion of no confidence in Panyaza Lesufi. Are you as the ANC confident that he will survive this?
All parties have already spoken, with the exception of the DA, that they'll reject the motion. So he has already survived it.
Tuseko Makubela from the ANC in Gauteng.
The Midday Report.
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
In business, credit allows SMEs to better manage their everyday expenses. Absa gets it. SMEs have been grinding all year round, but during the festive season, it's time to take it up a gear with Absa Business Revolve Credit Card. This Monday from 3 p.m., 702 Drive with John Perlman chats to Pascale Albrecht, Executive for Commercial Issuing Product at Absa Business Banking. Tune in to get the lowdown with Absa on 702. Absa is an authorized FSP and a registered credit provider.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for real estate agencies, law firms, computer services, and more. Yakolin?
We saved a lot of money when we switched over from another insurance company to Business Outsurance. We've had some claims and they were friendly and efficient and paid out when they promised.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Make waves with Hollywood Bets in the Splash the Cash tournament for your shot at a share of 1 million rand. Top the weekly leaderboard in this thrilling competition for your chance at a mad cash dash. Simply bet 2 rand or more on Playtech slots or 100 rand or more on Playtech live casino games to enter. Get locked, loaded and ready to play. It's more fun to spin with us. Bet now.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0170.
This is Kyle's mom entertaining the guests.
My son and I have been taking some dancing lessons. Watch And a this. 1 and a 2. Oopsies.
And this is Kyle's mom with 2 months free YouTube Premium plus 5 gigs free YouTube data plus 30 gigs once off.
It's showtime! With ad-free YouTube Premium. Kyle, hand out the logins, my boy. You get a password. You get a
Extra
password.
your summer
You get a
with the Vodacom Red Plan and get extra Red rewards plus benefits on the VodaPay app when you sign up or upgrade online and in store. T's and C's apply. Further together, Vodacom.
702 Podcast.
On primemediaplus.com.
16 minutes after 5 o'clock, 7:02. Thanks for joining us. And we go straight to our guest, Karen Moore, News 24 legal journalist, just to keep us updated on the Madlanga Commission. It was really a mixed bag, but a strong focus, if I were to say that, on the EMPD. We got to hear about Mashazi, who is the past city manager at Ekurhuleni, and some people around her, like Mkhwanazi, who were Julius Mkhwanazi, I should say, because there are a number of Mkhwanazis, isn't it? We need to put that into context. Karen, thanks for joining us. We don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to give you the opportunity to do the talking. Very interesting spotlight on Ekurhuleni Metro, but especially the Metro Police Department as well. Good afternoon.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Essentially, what this inquiry is looking at initially was this allegation, which came out through News 24 reporting, that Julius Mkhwanazi had essentially been a key part of Vusimuzi Katmatlala, who is now, of course, awaiting trial for the attempted murder of his ex-girlfriend, Teboho Tobojane, that he had been a pivotal part in securing blue lights for Katmatlala's security vehicles. And we knew about this because, of course, these vehicles appear on Instagram, on the Instagram of his account of his then wife. And of course, we know that unless you're law enforcement, you can't get access to those lights.
Yeah.
So that's the pivotal point at which this investigation starts. But what has emerged in the inquiry is a shocking story which really reached its zenith this afternoon about how Julius Mkhwanazi had essentially been rendered untouchable through the alleged protection of the then city manager, now retired, Imogen Mashazi, and certain officials around her, to the point where he was never held accountable over this blue lights debacle and his provision of a letter that would have allowed Katmatlala's companies to essentially take blood potentially at roadblocks, embark in police tracking operations, and really have a whole lot of privileges that they should never have had access to. And also, of course, providing security to the Ekurhuleni State of the City event in March 2022. On the flip side of that, we've heard harrowing accounts from all the officials who tried to hold Mkhwanazi accountable and then were themselves subjected to what they've described as unfair dismissals, unfair suspensions, and harrowing victimization in the workplace that have essentially left a lot of them outside of the EMPD.
Lest we forget about the vehicles that were seemingly donated to Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department or just generally the city, but they were used by Katmatlala himself. So that was not a donation at all.
No, exactly. And this is the shocking thing. It comes out that, there was this very damning report that was done by IPID, which was given to the city in December 2023. And it essentially said that, Mkhwanazi should face corruption and fraud charges and that he should be disciplined. And then in this bizarre attempt to kind of undermine that report, this letter is produced by a legal department, which is so bad that Commissioner Sesi Beloy says, but are these people even legally trained? Because, quote unquote, this is a nonsense document. We have seen language coming out of these commissioners, which is so, is quite extreme, given the often very measured way that they have responded to the evidence. But I think what has also been heartrending, the former spokesperson of the EMPD, who's still in that job but has essentially been shunted to the OR Tambo airport as an official, Kelebogile Tepa, giving heartrending evidence about how simply because she had issued a statement about the Blue Light saga and given responses to my colleagues Jeff Wicks, she was then, suffered an incident where she was held at gunpoint by hijackers and then subsequently, experienced people again holding her at gunpoint and threatening to burn her. This is really mafia state kind of dynamics. And when you think that this started with the blue lights issue, it really transposed into some very dark evidence, including, of course, this afternoon, Mkhwanazi getting accused of instructing officers to dump a body in a mine shaft or a dam after they tortured this individual to death. in April 2022.
And I'm sure more is yet to come. Karen, thank you so much for your time. Always a pleasure talking to you. Karen Mon is News 24's legal journalist. 1 minute after 5.
For more about 702,
Go to primemediaplus.com.
One party abstained, all others voted against the motion of no confidence in Gauteng. Professor Dek Kotze joins us to tell us what is coming up next. What more can we expect from this province? And if this at all will shift Gauteng's fate. Prof, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. Welcome to 702. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much.
I'm wondering if it's business as usual as of Monday for Panyaza Lesufi moving on, or do we say that he has been shaken up, even though the motion was not successful? Perhaps the message has been registered.
It will be difficult to determine exactly how he's going to understand it, how he will internalize it. I think from the DA's point of view, I can't see that they had any expectations that it will succeed. But it was the first motion of no confidence against the Lesufi government, which is in fact a minority government. They have in total, the ANC plus the three other parties, have in total just around about 42%, 43% of the total support in the council. But they did receive and expected to be supported by MK and the EFF in situations like this. But given what we've heard, what you've referred also to, the setback for him with respect to the wardens, the security wardens, that it was declared unconstitutional, and the fact that there was a lot of pressure on the Tembisa situation, so provincial healthcare in general, which for many years is in a bad state and being lots of accusations about corruption, and therefore indication that it has not necessarily increased sufficiently. These are all factors that accumulated to, I think, the point where the DA more just, I would say, register the fact that they say, well, we are not comfortable with this situation as it is. So it's more of a testing of where the other political parties stand, not so much about whether it would be successful as a motion of no confidence.
But what does it say about them, albeit that many of them are members of the GNU nationally? But what does this really say about the parties that voted this way in Gauteng, Prof? Or is it just water under the bridge? I mean, I'm talking about Bosa, Rise, Mzansi, and every other party, all those other 11 parties who voted in this way. They will be the ones to stand up on a podium to criticize the very next day Panyaza Lesufi and his government.
Yeah, I think what we are seeing here is the interaction between the government, the national government of national unity, and the provincial governments. The same applies to KwaZulu-Natal. And you mentioned Rise and Mzansi, the fact that they have a seat in the Gauteng government, one of the 10, and they are participating in the government of national unity. So in that sense, it was for them very difficult to support a motion of no confidence at the time when they actually benefit from the cooperation with the ANC.
Yeah. Prof, maybe briefly about the work behind the scenes. Clearly, a lot of work had to be done, consultations with all these parties, and knowing how the ANC operates. I'm sure you'll agree that lobbying, mobilizing, meetings, smoke-filled rooms with whiskey, of course, that's a metaphor, but those engagements were clearly taking place. I don't think that they were relaxed.
No, it won't be, but I think in the case of Gauteng, which is different from the other provinces, is the fact that MK has quite significant support in Gauteng, around about 9% in total. And the fact that the EFF is regarded by the Premier Lesufi as a party who will support him, which is not the case in other provinces. That means that for the foreseeable future, he will most possibly be able to continue like this. But as I say, in terms of the composition of the Executive Council of 10 members, the provincial government, therefore, cabinet, it is actually a minority government. And that is what I think makes this situation still uncomfortable and potentially in future can become unstable also.
Perhaps he's on a powder keg. Prof. Dekotse, thanks very much for your time. Professor of Political Science at UNISA, 27 after 5.
EWN Business.
It's back with us. The weather is gloomy and apparently so are the markets.
Yeah, there are. Thankfully, less red in the weather than there is in the markets, but it's really not looking very good. Thabo, good afternoon. The JSE All Share down 1.82, so recovering a little bit towards the end at 111,973 points. Financials down 0.77, industrials down 2%, and then resources, they've come back a bit. They were down 4 an hour ago. They ended the day on the JSE down 2.75, but still quite a few big losses. So Harmony are down 6%, Naspers and Process down by around 4%, Anglo Gold down 3.79%, We Buy Cars down nearly 3.5% on the day. Gold and platinum prices are lower, but there was clearly some buying towards the end to bring down those losses. Richmond up 4.52% on the day, and they clearly are the story of the day in a way. Their group sales up by 10% at constant rates. I don't know where this demand for jewelry is coming from, but it seems to be all over the place. You know, people only want gold jewelry when gold's expensive, Thabo, and that's clearly what's happened. Either way, their operating profit has risen to 2.4 billion euros. There was a growth in jewelry in all regions. It also says there's a slower rate of decline of specialized watchmakers over the period, and that's people buying new watches, not, pre-owned, pre-loved, pre-inherited.
Pre-loved.
Pre-loved. Oh, I find that pre-loved just a ridiculous phrase.
That euphemism.
Yes, but pre-inherited, I think, is the phrase that, I can't believe they haven't used that. Anyway, so that's really helped Richmond through the day, up 4.5%. Sasol up 1.69% and Telkom up 1.6% on the day as well. Tough day in the rest of the world. So world markets down pretty much, all about US interest rate expectations. So a couple of the governors of the US Federal Reserve, the people who actually make the decisions, they've been saying they don't really feel that it's the right time for a cut. That's not where their betting was a few days ago. The problem really is they don't have official unemployment numbers, and they really need to see where those are, and they need to try and work out what's really happened in the world's biggest economy. Not an easy thing to do, and they're waiting for those numbers. The Dow Jones is down 1.16%. The Nasdaq is down 0.57%. The S&P 500 is down 0.64% on the day. And then the gold price, quite a lot, significantly lower than it was yesterday. So it was over 4,200 yesterday. It's at $4,074.52 an ounce. Platinum, $1,560.30. Brent crude, $64.21. And let me just make a point about Brent crude here. Edging up through the day, there was a Ukrainian drone attack on a Russian port in the Black Sea. That's closed the port for export, and that's 2% roughly of world oil supply. So that's having a big impact. And then the rand strengthening towards the end of the day, 17.11 now to the dollar, 19.89 to the euro, 22.50 to the British pound. Obviously, Tubble, we're waiting for a ratings announcement from S&P, and you know how this rolls. I have no idea when it's going to happen. Could be now, unlikely though. We'll wait. The National Treasury is probably sitting there going, will it happen? Will it not? I would suggest, though, and the people I've heard from in recent days, if we don't get an upgrade now, it'll be early next year.
Really?
But after the medium-term budget policy statement, how much more good news do you need? But Stephen Curtis, EWN Business.
And together with the Treasury, we continue to wait. The Reserve Bank, I meant to say 5:30. And he'll be back with you, Stephen Grotes, on top of the hour with the Money Show all the way till 8 o'clock. For now, but Khomotso Modise is standing by. I am so sorry. Now I owe you a chocolate, Khomotso. Apologies for that. And you have Eyewitness News headlines for us.
That's right, Thabo. Good afternoon. The Western Cape Police Ombudsman says investigations are still underway to determine whether gangs infiltrated the province's top cops. Police Ombudsman Major General Oswald Reddy released a redacted report yesterday after the Western Cape Department lodged a complaint related to alleged police infiltration by gangs in October 2022. The allegations stem from a ruling by Judge Daniel Tulare during a High Court trial which referenced possible infiltration of police management in the province by the 28th gang. Reddy says both the Independent Police Investigative Directorate and Parliament are still investigating the matter.
I am aware that they are currently conducting an investigation into the criminal aspects.
Western Cape Premier Alan Windey says he's been waiting for an update from IPID for more than a year.
It took a year before the IPID team even put their investigation plan together, and then they said we'll come back in another year, and that's already passed, but we have written to them to say give us the update on where you are with this investigation.
At the same time, Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Police and Oversight is also busy with its own probe into the allegations. The Gauteng Health Department says it will be rolling out regular community outreach programs in under-resourced areas as part of its broader efforts to tackle diabetes. One of these drives is underway at Protea South Community Hall in Soweto today to highlight the effects of diabetes. The department's clinical advisor, Dr. Gaugelo Molefe, says health teams are moving directly into communities to boost diabetes screening.
Where we go to the communities with our health services as the Gauteng Department of Health, where we encourage and set up health services where screening for diabetes is one of the services that we offer, along with other comorbidities.
The Beer Association of South Africa is calling for predictable and fair taxation. It says a study conducted in collaboration with Oxford Economics shows the industry saw an increase of 114% in excise tax. The association calculates the tax has risen 1.5 times faster than inflation. BASA CEO Charlene Lowe says unpredictable tax hikes are fatal to small breweries.
We have an industry that is obviously constrained by many other input costs, not just excise. The cumulative effect of all of these input costs together with a high excise adjustment really becomes quite unsustainable for the industry.
And Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan is establishing a commission of inquiry to investigate the killings that occurred during the elections that returned her to power. In her inaugural speech in Parliament, Hassan said she's deeply saddened by the incidents. Hassan was elected with 98% of the vote in contested elections last month. She says government must investigate what happened that prompted the killings during protests. A cloudy Saturday in store for Gauteng tomorrow with scattered afternoon showers and thundershowers expected. Temperatures at lows of between 15 and 16 and highs of between 24 and 26.
We're still dealing with that accident scene in Tembisa on the R21 northbound near Olifantsfontein Road, still causing huge delays. 4 ways. There's about a 20-minute delay on Winnie Mandela Drive between Witkoppen and the N1, and in Devland, roadwork still causing heavy delays on the Golden Highway between the N1 and Union Avenue.
The top story in EWM, the Western Cape Police Ombudsman says investigations are still underway to determine whether gangs infiltrated the province's top cops.
Africa Milani.
Weekday mornings,
4 to 6.
You're about to get busy. G20 descends on Johannesburg next week. When do you bring those part of the fleet back into service and be operational at full service again?
That's right. So with the G20 coming on, at the end of the next couple of weeks, we're actually looking at that scale up happening already next week. So during the course of next week, there'll be a full-on scale up, and then obviously tactical additional capacity added in on days that are perceived to be particularly busy.
Kirby Gordon, Chief Marketing Manager at Fly Safe here.
Africa Milani.
4 to 6 on 702.
James, congrats on the babies.
Yeah, thanks. It's a wild ride.
You're a new dad, 2 babies, 0 sleep, and 1 car that apparently couldn't cope.
Yeah, the hatchback was my baby, but it just didn't have enough space for my 2 new babies.
And are you happy with the price when you sold to We Buy Cars?
Very. We've even got some extra cash to splurge on one of those fancy brands that you basically need a license for.
Good luck, James. We Buy Cars. Geared for family, geared for you.
Make the winning move when you play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 42 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Friday. That's right. Play Powerball for an estimated 36 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 6 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120*7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old or play responsibly. E2 is a proud operator of the National Lottery.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
EWN Sport.
With Tato Moloto, he'll give us the very latest in the sporting world. Tato, good afternoon. What's happening?
Very good afternoon, Tabo. The Springboks meet Italy tomorrow in hopes to extend their unbeaten European tour run. New centre combination in Ethan, as far as the hookers are concerned, as well as Kanan Moody, could offer a glimpse of the future there for Coach Rassie Erasmus's lineup, and these are his reasons why.
I know if you ask Ethan, what's your favourite position? He says 12. If you ask Kanan, what's your favourite position? No, Danny Gerber was maybe around 13. Kanan has done great things at 13, and we think he deserves a chance, also giving Cheshire a bit of a rest there. And I think Kanan, out of 20 matches, he's lost once in the Springbok jersey, but he's just as comfortable on the wing. And then Ethan, we played 13 and wing all the time, while his preferred position is 12.
A whopping 11 changes in total for Rassie Erasmus going into this game, and he says he might fly in even further 2 more players on Monday.
Yes, we will probably on Sunday fly in another 2 players because we intend to have some prep work with us in the Irish week. Hooker probably and the prop because some of the players won't be available. So yes, we really want to see if Marco is a real hooker at this level. We've certainly we're building up with Andre as a hybrid playing flank and centre.
It's raining rugby this weekend. England up against the All Blacks, Wales meet Japan, Ireland up against the Wallabies, and France facing Fiji. In cricket, Proteas coach Shukri Conrad said he does not believe the pitch condition gave his boys the confidence for day 2 of their first test against India. South Africa were bowled out for 159 in their first innings of day 1 in their test.
Secondly, my assessment of the surface, probably after 4 or 5 deliveries in the first over, I think the signs were there pretty early on that the bounce is not consistent. I don't particularly believe that any of the batters grew in confidence because of the inconsistency of the bounce.
Play continues tomorrow morning with India trailing by 122 runs. Back home, Boerland are in the T20 Challenge, and as things stand, they are 63 for 4 in their game against the Hollywood Bets Dolphins. Now at 6 o'clock, it is the Dragons who face the Titans. Meanwhile, in Gqeberha tomorrow, Bafana have a friendly against Zambia at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. An important clash for Coach Hugo Brosh because this will be the side that he takes to the African Cup of Nations and possibly the 2026 World Cup. Finally, the MotoGP takes its final bow of the season in Valencia on Sunday. Race starts at 3. Tato Moloto, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 rands. Karabo, the roads, how do they look?
Well, Tabo, we're still dealing with that accident scene in Tembisa, R21 northbound near Olifantsfontein Road, still causing huge delays. Sunwood Park Roadworks also slowing down traffic heading towards Brakpan. That's on the N17 eastbound between Rondebolt and Carnival City, while in four ways you can expect about a 20-minute delay on Winnie Mandela Drive between Witkoppen and the N1 Midrand heading towards Pretoria. There's slow-moving traffic N1 northbound between Ellendale and New Road, while in the Joburg CBD, traffic sluggish M1 south from Killarney Bends to the Crown Interchange, and in Devland, roadwork still causing heavy delays. This is on the Golden Highway between the N1 and Union Avenue. I'll have your next Eyewitness News traffic update just after 6.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a nervous but excited first-time driver waiting for the perfect gap to switch lanes. I can do this. The pressure. The Outsurance pointsman knows it's not just a car in traffic. It's a sense of freedom and independence on the move. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Access to the internet is vital for any country to grow. That's why the recent 6.75 billion rand digital infrastructure deal that Standard Bank Corporate and Investment Banking facilitated between Telkom and an Actors-led consortium is so transformational for South Africa. It unlocks growth and provides internet access to underserved communities who will now have access to the internet for the very first time. Search CIB Stories of Impact to watch the full story.
Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
The Dial-A-Bed Black Friday sale is now on with 20% off absolutely everything. Start Black Friday shopping today and save thousands on all our best brands. 40 Winks, Sealy, Simmons, Dunlop King Coil in all sizes, all less 20% and all ready for fast delivery. Dial-A-Bed. Sleep for life.
A song, a book, and a dish.
On 702.
18 minutes to 6 o'clock. John is not here. Thabo is in his state. And again, I referred to myself as a third person. I don't know why I did that, but welcome. Love having you. And by the way, keep those voice notes coming through, right? And I did say that even though John is away, the furniture won't be changed. Song, a book, and a dish. It's your favorite feature. I know every Friday you look forward to it. And this is a feature where we have interesting individuals to come through to speak to us about their favorite song, a dish that they loved as a child. Perhaps they still love that dish now, and a book that really changed their lives, and what is it that they're reading, and just an easy way into the official weekend. And today is no different at all. Sibu Mabena is the founder and chief creative officer of Duma Collective, one of Africa's most respected creative communication agencies, and it's headquartered right here in Johannesburg. And she's got a background in performance, brand strategy, and multi-format storytelling. Sibu has built a career defined by creative excellence, cultural fluency, and she's sitting right in front of me. Welcome. I hope you're good, Sibu, and you decided to come into the studio because you understand the value of media. Welcome.
Yes, hi, thank you. What an introduction. That's incredible. Listening to that is like, oh my goodness, that's me.
Is that me? Are
Wow.
they talking about me? Who are they talking about?
Oh, thanks, Abu Tabo.
No. Thank you for coming through. It means the world to me. Welcome. Really appreciate you having you here. But generally, it seems as if you are really entrenched in the communication space. Media is just but one part of it. And what attracted you to this space?
Look, I grew up as a very loud child. I was encouraged to speak up. Any issue that I had, talk. What's the problem?
Yeah.
You know? So being that person, and then also coming from a family of communicators.
Yeah.
My dad ran the communications desk in the ANC in exile,
Yeah.
where my mom worked at government communications and information services when they got back from exile.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you can't escape.
Yes.
So I just took the creativity that I was thrust into from being a dancer and a performer, and then married that with communication because I was
Yes.
an early adopter to social media, put the two together and just find ways to amplify really cool things or experiences and make sure that a lot of people get to see them and hear of them. And then I do cool things and get paid for it.
Fantastic.
So that's how we ended up here, being this Duma Collective and now Golden Thread African Agency, which manages talent, who also use their creative abilities to tell stories, various stories. And ours is to just amplify that and create connections, I suppose, between brands, their audiences, and everything in between.
And you said mom and dad were in that space. Where was that? Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Joburg. I was born here in 1991, October, after my parents returned in May from exile. So my name is Sibuyile because we are back. But they were, they were thrust into the liberation movement by virtue of just wanting to see our country do better and contribute in whatever way they could. So my parents split up, where my dad went into the camps. He was in Angola for a while, forming the MK. And my mom went off the education route and she studied in the Scandinavian countries. And then they regrouped in the UK in 1987.
And you stayed here?
I wasn't born. My sister, my
at that
older
time
sister,
they were not born.
Yeah. My older sister and my older brother were here. They were raised by my family.
Okay.
And then in 91, my parents returned and then just tried to live the African dream of being liberated
back
blacks.
home.
You know, and I come from that, and I'm really a product of two incredible people who cared so much about this country, and then also just wanted to see the best.
Where in Joburg did you go to school here?
A girls' school actually for
Really?
primary school, Johannesburg Girls Primary School.
Okay.
And then we moved to Pretoria with my mom. She wanted to move closer to GCIS, which is work in Pretoria. So into Springvale Primary.
Yeah.
And that's actually where the dancing thing developed. I joined the South African hip hop dance team, was able to then travel and compete overseas. And a lot of my formative years came from being in that space. And then high school, I did Pro Arte Elfin Park in Pretoria, which is an art school.
Okay.
For high school, sorry. And then my second part of my high school was Midstream College, because my dad was just like, this dancing thing, interesting, love it, but can we go to a traditional school for a bit? And then I became deputy head girl at Midstream.
Oh wow!
Made some really great connections. It was just a really cool experience of being in a government school, for high school, and then a private school as well, and just kind of understanding both landscapes and being able to socialize in both environments. And I think that's why I'm such a well-rounded person, because of those exposures.
So if John was here, he was going to ask you, among others, what was on the table at the Mabena family? For dinner, when you were eating, whether you ate at a table or not, it doesn't matter. But what was, I suppose, in the plates? What did you eat?
Yeah, many things. My mom was quite eclectic with the daily menu.
Yeah.
But the things she would make me, if she wanted to impress me or make me happy or make me feel good, spaghetti bolognese.
Oh.
What a simple, quick thing, but she just appreciated how happy it made me to have spaghetti and mince and just on one plate.
Still your favorite today?
Still a fave. You know what I say? Like, if I have the privilege of having a wedding one day, that's on the menu.
Oh, you are kidding me.
I see the plated, I see the ribeye,
We're
I see
gonna
the
be
fish, I
all
see the
messy
salmon.
in
We'll
gorgeous
put aprons.
clothes.
It's going to be stunning. But spaghetti bolognese is my favorite food. My brother, actually, who lives with me, when he's seen that I'm having a tough day, he knows what to do.
Any book that you remember, especially from those days? It sounded like you had a fantastic time in school. Any books that come to mind at the time, either at school or at home?
At home, actually, one of the first, I suppose, real good books I was encouraged to read was The Animal Farm.
Oh,
My mom made
George
me
Orwell.
read. Yeah, George Orwell, all animals are equal, some more equal than others, was the lesson she wanted me to get out of that in grade 1.
Oh my goodness.
I read The Animal Farm. Yeah, and I mean, it's the lessons from it continue on throughout your life. The Bible, obviously, you know, that is something that you get into, and many lessons from that. But now, as an adult, I think the 5 a.m. Club, Robin Sharma's had a very interesting way of conceptualizing what it means to self-actualize and how you can do that. So Animal Farm, teaching you about society and how it is, and the Bible, teaching you about life, existence, and the many lessons from that, because I am a Christian, I do believe in that. And then 5 a.m. Club, those are the three, I suppose, guiding books of my
Manual
life.
for Sibu.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's very important, especially Animal Farm. And my boy who's in a high school is busy with that right now, and they're doing some schoolwork on that, and speaking about Napoleon and everyone else. And even though I forgot some characters from
Boxer,
back in the
my
day.
fave.
Yeah. And but there's value in reading. And if perhaps one of your client was in a pickle, would you recommend a book for them?
Ooh, that's such an interesting one. I suppose it depends on how much time we have.
Well, very little, but because we must still play your song.
Okay.
And I want you to get a big chunk of that.
Yeah, I mean, look, there are nuggets that we pick up from various pieces of or constructions of information, I suppose. So depending on what the challenge is, I'd pick certain paragraphs out of different books.
Yeah.
If it's a strategy issue, there's a really great book on strategy. I'll send it or I'll tweet about it. But there's something in there that applies to the challenge. If it's about emotional intelligence, there'll be something else. If it's about trying to own your day, there's 5 a.m. Club. So not one single book can answer to any one problem, I believe. And that's why it's important to read.
Yeah, and I wanted you to say a little bit about the space that you occupy, because agencies, I think they were a little bit far from an ordinary black community's mind. And starting up an agency, it was a little bit vague. And for you to get into that space, and occupying that space and being comfortable with that space. And I drive past your offices and I look at that and I'm like, hey, what's going on? But I mean, say something about, perhaps, of course, you're not the first, but you are playing a very critical role in that space because it plays a huge part in the knowledge economy of South Africa.
Absolutely, and thank you for recognizing that, because I would then pay homage to a Happy Njingila, Peter Wundler.
Yes.
And out of that,
the fathers of it, yeah.
Mfundi Wundler,
yeah,
for actually taking the inspiration from what his brother was doing and building an agency in the Herd Boys and putting that onto a mass medium platform like Generations on SABC One. And now New Horizons is what we reference to our uncles and our aunts when they ask us, and I say, I sell la chocolate. Ngenza what
New Horizons
used to do
yes.
on Generations as New Horizons. So for us in the 90s, to have that example of what's possible and then go on to do it because we have the freedom to do so. We have the resources, the access, the networks, and then building an institution in the form of a Duma Collective for you to drive past and point at that and say, in there are some black people who are doing amazing things for amazing brands. To me, is why we do it. And institutionalizing what we're able to do as individuals and building a big brand around it so that the people who come and work at Duma Collective can tell their parents back home that I work in that building and it means something. That's actually why I exist.
And it can be easy. People from far off may think that, you're just selling brands. It's so easy and you just pitch. It must be the most difficult thing because sales is make it or break it, but also brand communication.
Yeah.
Telling the person what this is before you tell them that they need it is very central to that messaging that is often just referred to in passing as advertising. There's so much more to that.
Absolutely. I think one of the more important things we do as communicators is make the end consumer feel that their hard-earned money is being spent on brands that consider them. And as brand custodians, I think that's what is at the heart of what they do, is to say to you who works so hard and has to make decisions about where you spend your money, how is what I do going to affect how you make that decision? And in turn, then that contributes to the economy, right? So as brand builders and then as communicators, our job is to center the customer in all of our considerations. And if we can get that right, I think then we'll always have a job of being marketers.
And I'm asking this, we don't have a lot of time. I think we have about a minute and a half before I play your song, but please, I don't want you to leave without answering this. Speak a little bit about how accessible the market is for people like you to occupy it now, because corporate South Africa is still what it is. And there's a lot of transformation that is needed there. And it's not my intention to delve into politics, but it's also very important to note that the space that you occupy needs some more penetration in order for you to be seen as someone who is worthy of being trusted with a brand.
And I think worthy can be one word, but credible enough. And
even better. I was looking for
what we're doing is it's a show and tell. It's a game of show and tell. If I can show to people who at the end of the day are bottom line driven, they have a commercial objective to achieve, that what I bring to the table will add to us doing that. My value is in my ability to deliver on the mandate, not being black, not being young, not being female. The value lies in the work that I'm able to deliver. The fact that I am black and female and young, I am reflective of the mass target audience. I am entrenched in the culture. I understand what is happening on the streets and how to sell to our people.
Please say about understanding. Again, I apologize for interrupting you. It's not my intention. I wish we had more time. That's why I'm throwing all these nuggets at you. From products selling chicken with black people singing as they are cooking.
And washing powder with black people dancing.
Exactly. And all of that. That must say something about your presence in that space.
I would say the agencies who have the opportunity to deliver on these briefs or these mandates often do so from an insight. A lot of the work that you see out on mass media platforms is informed by an insight. Sometimes it's a universal one. Sometimes it's limited to a small subset of the audience. But when an advertiser takes that insight and then explodes it and puts it on a medium, such as, a television channel, there are multiple people who are involved in that decision being made to put that ad with those people dancing onto that platform.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's data driven. Sometimes it's a vanity thing, that the decision that was made was based on what one person thought is a good idea.
Yes.
And we find ourselves in a space where there's just so much confusion around what is correct.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the audience is in charge. The audience has so much power to tell us that is horrible. That was not a good idea.
Yeah.
And we've seen it happen. And brands then self-correct. They take a step back and they say, okay, we messed it up. Let's try to do better.
Let's come again.
And the best brands are the ones who recognize what audiences are saying and do better.
I have to wrap this one up. Talking about wrapping up, Sibu. It's been fantastic chatting to you. The song that you chose as we say goodbye?
Building Castles by Squatter Camp. It is my testimony.
Fabulous.
All I've been doing is building castles.
It was lovely talking to you, Sibu Mabena, Dumo Collective, and many other things that she does. Lovely having you here on 702.
Thank you so much.
To achieve progression is the only option. Proudly South African self-made leaders are rising. Movers and shakers recreated the African dream. Seizing the day, so I say I did it my way. SK don't play homegrown, we make it happen. Looking forward, progressive to the last second in time. This is not just a rhyme, but a wake-up call indeed. Stand on 2 feet and your family you will
Don't wait
feed.
for no man to help you out. Help yourself, man, this is what life is about. Made in South Africa, that makes me proud. Scream out loud for liberation, togetherness, progress this far. We walk miles, our shit is on par. We not rap stars, but leaders of the struggle. Life is a puzzle, we put it together for future generations. Made poverty extinct with no hesitation. Every day we hustle, we build a mansions to build these castles. We build it for one living struggle. We build it so we straighten our muscles. Believe in what I'm saying. We build it in time, it's now no playing. We build it in the future, we are changing. We build it in excuses, we not taking.
As an entrepreneur, we had to do it from scratch, building it from really nothing and making it work from the scraps that he had and I believe.
I mean, Squatter Camp was just something else, eh? The soundtrack of youthfulness in South Africa. And we're speaking to Sibu Mabena. Thanks very much for joining us. And we know that you will be here because Stephen Grootes is up next between 6 and 8. Then Bra Obbs takes over all the way to midnight. It's always a pleasure spending time with you. And we hope that you will connect with us again. A few seconds to 6 o'clock. Have a lovely evening.
And now, The Money Show.
With Stephen Grootes, live on 92.7 and 106 FM. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And DSTV channel 856.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by ABSA CIB, named Best Cash Management Services in Africa at the 2025 EMEA Finance Treasury Services Awards. Good evening on your Money Show tonight. Why we're selling so many oranges and lemons and where they're going. The Competition Commission tells Big Tech they need to help our media, but Elon Musk's X insists on doing its own thing. Don't forget the Friday Biz Blitz, and we look at the luxury sneaker market. All of that to come. But before you get your kicks, here's the very latest Eyewitness News.
Good evening, I'm Zingisa Chirwa. Gauteng